Welcome to Girls Run These Worlds. I am Everis Burke. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I will be your Grail guide as we take on session 2 of Inspirisles. Inspirisles, for those who don't know, is an all-ages tabletop role-playing game promoting storytelling, empathy, and deaf awareness with an emphasis on cooperation. How does the game promote deaf awareness? Well, we get to learn a little bit of sign language as we go along. We are learning live on stream. So let's see how this goes. We got started with it last time. We're going to do a bit more this time. Very excited. Before I recap where we are in the story, let's get introduced to our players. In order that I see you on my screen, I'm gonna call out Taylor.
Hi.
Nice try.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Briar, who also uses she, her pronouns. And my name and sign is this, which I was given when I was in elementary school.
Cute. Next up we have playing Morgan, Fiona.
Aha. All right. Hello everyone. Tonight, so my name is Fiona, and I am playing Morgan. There you go. Yes, and her element is air as well. And yeah, very excited to be here back for round 2.
Great. Amazing. Next up we have Gask.
And I have to follow that. Okay, hello, my name is Gask. You did not get the inator part. That's too long. I do not know how to do Dahi because how would you even do fathers? Like accents in sign
looked
language?
this up to try and figure this out. I think you just use the letters as is.
You don't just go like cha.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody is a sign language speaker who knows how to do accented letters in chat, let us know. I tried searching around for an answer and didn't find an easy one. So yeah, mysterious.
Name Gask, she, her pronouns, playing Dahi, he, him pronouns, and my element is also air. There we go.
Nice, amazing. And last but not least, we have Maddie.
Hello, I'm Maddie. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Bobby. Still having to very much look at the sheet of things. And she also uses she, her pronouns, and her element is water.
Amazing. So, where are we in the story? Last time we saw you all journey through the All's Well in tow from your companion animals who came to find you. You tumbled through a portal into a strange new land that nevertheless feels strangely familiar. You met your welcome committee in the form of Scriv the Bard and her companion Cecily. And you had a few of your many questions answered about why you were here and what was happening. You were told that you're basically all descended from Queen Guinevere and are known as Pendragons in these lands. And you are the latest generation to make their way through the Allswell portal, tasked with restoring the world tree of these isles to health by gathering belief. You went with Scriv to your new base of operations, the questing cabin. On the way, you found an injured Nimbus hatchling. This is like an 8-foot tall, stork-like, majestic creature that had been downed in the woods that you were traveling through.
The way I'm picturing it in my head is, you remember that bird from Up? The really tall one?
Kevin, yes.
Kevin, yes.
Yeah, I think that's pretty legit from my memory of that. But, you know, I haven't watched Up in a while because I don't want to cry my face off. So you saved Kevin, the Nimbus chick, who we had not yet named, but if you want to call him Kevin, I'm fine with that.
Happened now.
Yeah, there we go. You rescued the Nimbus chick and then took it back to your cabin where you stayed for the night, discovered your sanctuaries, these interdimensional spaces that are your bedrooms in this cabin, perfectly molded to your personalities and your needs of your character. And after a night's rest and many questions to your guide, Scriv, you started your shaping training with Sita, who is a turquoise and gold dragon that lives in the lake just outside the questing cabin, who emerged to help you find out which element you have the strongest affinity with. We found that Ellie, our currently missing character, wasn't able to make it onto stream just yet. We're hopeful she'll join us later. Was our fire aligned, and then we had 2 air, earth, and water. So a well-balanced party with a little bit of potential rivalry. We got started with finger spelling in terms of our shaping. And yeah, we closed out with Sita assembling a fishing rod, putting it next to her and saying, "It's time to catch the golden trout." And looking between you all. So, did I miss anything important that we feel like we should mention before we get started with my recap?
We don't level up or anything like that, do we, for this golden trout mission?
You haven't even started the mission yet, so definitely not.
Trying to get those extra signs in.
All I can think of is that there's Morgan and Human Morgan.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Right.
our worst names.
Of
Morgan,
course,
yeah.
you got
Of course.
ponies, and you
Yeah.
named all of your
Flopsy,
ponies.
Orange Justice, Morgan, and then
Can you do the whole lot?
no.
I know that Ellie's was called Express.
Yeah.
Express,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
And
Pony.
Shadow.
For some reason, I thought
Shadow.
Bobby's
yeah,
was called
Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah.
She's edgy.
For some reason, I thought it was Excelsior. That's close. EX.
I mean, I don't know if we could handle Excelsior and Orange Justice in the same time. That would just be
That's
too
their
much
own
get up and
rivalry
go.
going on, yeah.
It's so intense. Yeah. Both viable battle cries. Amazing. Okay, great. So, if we're all happy to get started with our session, this catching the golden trout, this is going to be a belief barrier. It's a 1-round check usually, but we'll see how we go. To remind you how this works, you need to nominate a leader from amongst you. The leader will be the one doing the rolling. Anybody who's able to think how they're helping the leader using their own shapes or helpful actions will add a +1 for each person helping to their roll. Okay, so who's leading? As Sita sort of gestures towards the lake and says, "The golden trout has lived in this lake far longer than I. It is a legendary beast. It has been caught by every party of Pendragons for the last 50 years.
If it's so legendary, how does it keep getting caught by 15-year-olds?
It actually is kind of doing me a favor. We're roommates. It doesn't try that hard to get away.
Oh, so that really severely dampens the hype for this. No, it's letting us away.
It tries a bit hard.
Okay.
You have
Good
to
to
find
know.
it first.
Hey, Bobby, you got water, right? Can you just like float the whole lake? Is that what you can do? Like with your powers already?
I guess I can try. I mean, since I've got a water thing going on, should be okay.
Seeing Bobby sort of like, oh my god, a big lake. Morgan's like, let me assist. I can, and I'll try and use the air, so the air elemental to sort of push the water, maybe make some waves, and so see if we can get it towards us, and like almost like sweep the lake a little bit towards us.
Create like
safely.
a current almost.
Yeah, safely.
Tidal wave.
Yeah, ideally, yeah, to get it towards us so that we can at least section off the water a little bit. That's what Morgan will be doing to assist.
Okay, so Morgan's assisting. Do we say that Bobby is leading this? this
If Bobby's
attempt,
okay with it.
because of their water.
Yeah, and Maddie the player is completely happy. Bobby is not sure.
I imagine we're just all looking at Bob. Like, as soon as it's like, this is a water-based thing, we're just like all looking at
We all
Bob.
separate, and Bobby's there with wet hands.
Just is the water still coming out of Bobby's hands?
I think it dried up after not very long, but it was a tough minute there.
I love how water's coming at it. Like, it's just like really sweaty palms right now. That's the extent of your powers, and we're just like, so lift up the lake.
So yeah, I think what Bobby's intention will be to sort of make the center of the like more shallow and kind of bring the water up towards the edges so it looks like a big bowl, but I've no idea if that will actually happen. And like the water will hopefully help push the wind will hopefully
so
help
you're
push
attempting to
water.
make the water sort of rise up on either side, kind of like creating a shallower point in the middle, and Morgan is going to help you with shaping air to sort of use the air currents to brush those waves upwards as the water tries to rush back down. Exactly. Is there anything that Dorothy or Briar are doing right now to help?
I want to try and build a net, but I don't know how.
Well,
meanwhile,
can I help with the net, maybe?
Yeah, you can grow things, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I could like have some vines, kind of like try to get them to grow to like, or like find ones that are the right length to make a net.
Okay, so Sita sort of looks at you doing this, and she's like, "I do have this fishing pole."
Yeah. But like you said, it's a big. This won't hurt it. A net
I'm not
seems
trying
more
to
safe than
hurt the trout. We're trying to catch the trout
with a net.
Yeah, don't fishing poles have like hooks in them?
Yes, that is true.
I don't wish to press, but we are holding back the whole lake.
And why do we keep calling it Trout anyway? Isn't it your roommate? Does he have a name?
His name is Trevor.
Trevor Trout. Awesome. Well, Trevor Trout, we're going to make you the comfiest net possible.
Okay, so so if I'm understanding correctly, what's happening is Bobby is shaping the water to create a kind of bowl shape and create a shallow section in the middle where it should be easy to see the trout as it passes through. Morgan is shaping air to try and keep that bowl shape going, just as backup assistance. Briar is going to grow some vines, which Dorothy will then weave into a net, which he will use to catch the trout.
One of his many skills, net weaving.
Net weaving, yes, I'm sure. Okay, so can the shapers please shape your element for the sake of this? Okay, and then our leader rolls with a +3.
All right.
Oh, a +4 actually, because you get to add +1 for your level 1 shape as well as for the 3 people helping you.
Nice. So I got 11 on the dice, so that would be 15.
A 15, very good. So that is easily a success. So the way I picture this happening, Bobby creates this incredible bowl and, concentrating. She looks nervous at first, but as she concentrates and uses her shape, the water begins to just rise up and then hold there in these massive walls of water. Sita kind of stands back and nods, impressed, and is like, good, good. And Morgan is helping send gusts of wind to send waves up and up. While this is happening, Briar grows the vines and Dorothy is cutting them as they grow and weaving them together and makes a surprisingly functional net. With the water as shallow as it is, thanks to the shaping, Dahi is able to wade out into the water and wait for the trout to come past, and quick as lightning, catch it in the net. Okay, you have successfully caught the golden trout. And just as you do that, you give up the shape in the water.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, Dahi.
Dahi tries to immediately like fly up, I guess, but has no control over it. Immediately flies up and straight down.
You trying to hover over the lake with your air powers?
Yeah, as it comes back in.
Give me a belief barrier roll with a +1, because if you shape your air powers for me, then you'll get a +1 to this roll.
Okay, so air. How many d6? Just the
3d6.
3d6. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh wait, no, that's a 6. That's a nice little. That's 9, 10, 11.
11 is just a success. Just. So it's exactly as you described. The water comes crashing back down, and you all turn away. You can't bear to watch, thinking that Dahi's going to be just crushed by the weight of all this water. Instead, you just, as it settles, you see Dahi just floating slightly above the lake. He's let go of the net. The trout has escaped. Hovers over the lake for a second and then into the water. But he is not crushed by the water. He's able to swim back to the edge of the water. It's not that deep of a lake. It's not a dangerous body of water particularly. And Sita just says, unconventional approach, but I think we will consider that a success. It seems that you are making use of your powers. Some very impressive attempts. I think you are ready to try some dueling.
Against each other?
Yes.
Oh, Morgan dibs. We gotta see who's the superior air person.
I mean, I think it's all about practice, Dahi, and we're just, gotta practice.
Luther has to be the other one's sidekick, Air Junior.
Fine. We'll see who's the best at shaping air.
This is Morgan's villain origin story.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
This whole thing has been Morgan's villain. She got summoned through a portal by a raven and didn't seem surprised.
No.
Okay, so
This is
Sita's
my
like,
moment.
a healthy rivalry can be very helpful to progress. If you wish to take each other on, then that is all well and good. That would leave Briar and Bobby. I should note that you would be evenly matched with water and earth, and then with 2 air. Normally there is a sequence to the elements. Fire is dominant over earth, earth is dominant over air, air is dominant over water, and then water in turn is dominant over fire. This has effects in disbelief battles, the dominant element having the upper hand. But if you wish to tent some duels evenly matched, then we can see how that pans out.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Okay, shall we get the Battle of the Airs over and done with first?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Before we start, I can see Dahi already warming up. I'm like, well, I extend my hand. Oh no. And I'll be like, to the best person, the best shaper. And I say, extend my hand.
Yeah, you're on.
I should do
What
that.
does-
Strongest handshake
I do that.
possible.
I sort of go.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
Oh,
So, Sita has you stand 10 paces apart from each other, facing each other, and says, okay, this is very unlike combat in a real situation, but for the sake of practice and fairness, I shall count down from 3 and then say go, and then you may attempt what you wish to attempt. Please remember that we do not wish any bloodshed in these lands. That will only increase disbelief.
How
Okay.
bad can air hurt someone to
Morgan's
cause
already
bloodshed?
practicing.
Oh no.
Okay. So, all right. Sita counts down. 3, 2, 1, go. And what do you each do?
Absolutely. As soon as we were told to go 10 paces apart, this is like air finger gun situation of just like pachoo.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you're trying to knock
Dragon
Morgan off her feet.
Yes,
Yes.
Dragon Ball Z style, sort of like try and push back. So straight.
Okay, so you're going to try and basically knock each other over with air. All right. You both roll 3d6.
No
Plus one
pluses.
for us.
+1 for your shape. Hang on, I'm just reading my notes on
Yep.
disbelief battles because we've
No.
not done one yet.
This is the most important roll we've ever made.
Yeah.
So it's
This is
we want to-
deciding who's air senior and air junior.
I mean, first of all, those are not the titles Morgan would agree to.
No,
was
you
trying to think of a
you just
psychic
roll
name.
3d6. In a disbelief battle, there aren't so much modifiers. It's just
Sure.
that normally if you have a dominant shaper, they are able to
Oh, it's like
re-roll
type advantage.
1
Yeah.
dice if they're level 1, 2 dice if they're level 2. But because there's no dominant shaper here, it's just a straight roll.
Oh, we're
Just a
finding
roll
out
off.
who the dominant
Whoa.
shaper is. Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can do the number for it. So what? So I got Morgan got a 14. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
14.
13.
Oh, so how do you picture this plays out then, Morgan?
Definitely, I can imagine Dahi is obviously like ready to go and does the finger guns, but Morgan's sort of already there, and sort of just the way she sort of pushes back the air thing, it gets Dahi's air, like not bullet, but air thing pushes back, and then unfortunately you're next to the lake, it just pushes you back into the lake.
Into the lake, Dahi
Dahi
goes for the second
considers
time.
the humiliation of resurfacing before eventually swimming back
You're
up.
down there. The trout kind of swims up to you and just kind of gives you a nod and carries on. Okay, all right. So you come up and everybody's politely clapping.
Golf
sort
clap.
of,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Morgan would go over to the lake and offer out a hand to pick up Dahi. And
Dahi
also go on.
reaches out so slowly to make sure you're not pulling away.
No, I definitely don't pull away at this point.
And then at the last second, like grabs on real quick just to make sure.
Yeah, pulls him out.
No
of the lake.
best 2 out of 3.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, Sita is like, very
Take
good.
water.
That was a very close run thing. I think you will be evenly matched. Okay. Are we ready for the bout of water versus earth? Okay. Same situation. Puts you opposite each other, 10 paces apart. And gives you the 3, 2, 1, go. So you shape, and what do you each do?
I think the thing that Bobby considers doing is taking some of the water from the lake and kind of trapping Briar in a sort of vortex of water so that she just can't move. So it's not hurting or anything, it's just holding her in place.
That's really funny. So what I was thinking of doing, so I know when we shape, we would normally sign the element. Is it okay to sign like I was thinking of signing like vines, like and using vines again? Like
That's
does it?
yeah, totally fine. Yeah.
So I think Briar is basically thinking like kind of along the same lines, except for using like I just was using vines earlier and having vines like kind of grow up around Bobby and hold her in place. I'll do the
Love it.
vines.
Okay, so you both shape. You're evenly matched because neither of your elements dominates the other. So give me a straight roll.
It's 3d6, right?
Yep, 3d6.
That one is cocked.
That's a
So
12 for me.
I got a 12 as well.
Okay, so you end up at some kind of stalemate.
We're both.
How do you see this playing out?
So, like, do we count to 10 before you call it off?
Yeah, it's
Well,
definitely
Is it a
okay.
1, 2, 3 situation?
yeah, tennis match going on with Delhi and Morgan looking back and forth.
So Sita sort of like holds back the other two and says, let them figure this out. Let's go to a second round. What do you each do given that you are trapped?
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna try to use, instead of plants, actual earth this time, even though it's not something that I'm as like comfortable with. And what I think I'm gonna try to do is make it so that there's like mud and rocks and stuff coming up into the water that's holding me, so that like that can, and then like pull it away from me, kind of. So like get my element mixed in with water to try to make it so
and
that I
then
can
and
get
then
out
just
of
have
there.
it like hopefully fall off of you because of the extra
Yeah.
weight of the material by no longer making it pure water. Okay, interesting. How about Bobby?
I think in a panic, Bobby's just trying to wash the vines off of her.
Just secreting water everywhere.
Yeah, I hadn't even
sweat
thought
is
about it. Yeah,
again.
there's water bursting out of every pore. Just like, I have the power of sweat.
Oh no.
Amazing.
The ultimate
Okay.
teenage power.
Give us some
Projectile
shapes, give us some
sweat.
rolls. If you
Oh,
shape
no.
sweat.
If we tie again, this will be wild.
Oh.
That's 11 for me.
I got a 13.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, so Briar manages to pull the rocks and earth up into the air and around into the water, and it sort of swirls around her for a second and then drops to the ground, this kind of ring of mud around where she's standing, and she's freed. Bobby tries, water just sprays out from Bobby, but the vines just stay put, and it's just like a sprinkler effect.
It's just watering the plants.
Yeah,
I'm helping.
the plants are like, oh no, not water.
Oh, Poppy.
So Sita says, I think that is a reasonable victory for Earth in this case. Very good.
As soon as like I'm out, I drop kind of drop the vines so Bobby's not stuck for like too long, and go over to shake her hand.
I sort of wipe my hands on my wet clothes, and then I'm like, sorry, and just go for a handshake anyway.
I wipe my muddy hand off on my overalls. It's just a very like messy handshake.
Yeah.
Squelchy.
Okay. So if you want to do another round of dueling, you can. What are we thinking? Do we want another round with air versus something else?
Oh.
Well, we have to find the best, right? Morgan doesn't say that.
Oh, we're doing. Hey guys,
thinks
tournament style, winner versus winner, and we gotta see who
Exactly.
comes in third.
Oh
Exactly.
no. I think Briar looks terrified about going up against Morgan. It's kind of like, I think she might kill me.
It's funny because she's probably like she's really like positive and happy towards Brian. And you're like, I saw what you did.
Because you saw what she did to Dahi.
But,
I think just like Morgan's just like intimidated. Like she's so like together, and Briar like doesn't really feel like she has everything together. So I think that's just part of it. It's like just like, oh, Morgan knows what she's doing.
Like, well, we should get more practice in. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy to find out, who's best out of Air, Original, and Earth.
Okay, the best shaper win.
Sita lays like a clawed hand on Briar's shoulder and says, Earth does dominate over Air, so I would not be too concerned.
I forgot about that.
So let us first have the competition between air and water.
Yeah. And air is also better than water, right?
Yeah. Air dominates water, so you get to re-roll one of your dice on your rolls.
That's good, because last time I rolled 2 6s and a 1, so if that happens again...
that would have been pretty handy, yeah. Okay, so, standing 10 paces away from each other, Dahi and Bobby. 3, 2, 1, go. What would each of you try to combat each other's skills?
Trying to use air to, especially if we're near the lake, speed away from whatever attacks Bobby's using, to dodge basically and close the distance.
Okay, so explain more. Are you like hovering? Is that what's happening?
Kind of like using short bursts of like pwa 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 to like dash almost.
Oh, so like jet propulsion for your legs.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dahi turns tail and flees?
No, towards Bobby.
Towards. Oh.
Because I'm thinking that Bobby is going to like long range attack me with water from the big lake that's there. So I'm trying to like swerve away from the lake and towards Bobby.
Okay, all right. So you come round, and when you get to Bobby, what are you going to do? Are you going to shoulder tackle, or
are we allowed to get physical during these?
You're allowed. Stuff that would happen in like contact sports, I think within like a limit is okay, and we'll just narratively say nobody gets badly hurt.
Oh, poor Bobby.
Just whoa, like full momentum air tackle.
Even you could be doing what you do when somebody has a bazooka thing and just go and hug them.
Yeah.
I think that's what Dahi does, is like, I'm just gonna run and charge and then like tackle.
Run and charge and tackle. Okay, cool.
Yeah, with
air power
propulsion.
behind you. Yeah, great. Like a little scamp rocket. Okay, cool. What is Bobby doing?
Bobby's gonna try and water pistol from her hands and into Dahi's eyes so that Dahi gets distracted and like can't see where he's going.
Okay,
Nice.
cool. Okay, give me a roll.
I hope both of these work.
Dahi can re-roll one die.
That was that was a bad roll. That's a 9 for me.
I rolled a 2 twice on my bad one, and you got 9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dahi, I got 7.
Oh! Did you re-roll anything?
Did you re-roll?
Yeah, I re-rolled a 2 and I got a 2.
Oh no! Okay, all right. So, all right. Despite having the advantage of the dominant element, Dahi flies towards Bobby, and Bobby just squirt, cool as a cucumber, finger guns into Dahi's eyes.
I can't see! Time out!
Just stumbles backwards into the lake again.
Oh no, again!
I was trying to avoid this.
Look at what you made us do, Dahi.
Sita pulls Dahi out of the lake and just says,
the saddest wet cat look of just like
You have had a tough time of it, but you are learning well. You've just been a bit unlucky. Still, well done, Bobby. Okay, time for our match of champions. Morgan and Briar, are you ready?
Always.
Okay,
guess
so you face off against each other. Great. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And what do you each do?
Go for it first.
Yeah, I think Briar is again thinking like, okay, the plant's really my thing, but like I don't know if that's gonna work very well against air, and so is going to shape clay, and is thinking, because she does pottery, is thinking like, oh, there is like air dry clay. So if I make like a clay shape around Morgan, then the air could work against her because it'll harden the clay like around her, basically. So that's gonna be my kind of mode, is to try to like pull clay, like a little clay shape up from the ground around Morgan.
A little back. Mid-back, yeah.
Just a little cutout for your face.
Just little holes for the eyes and mouth.
I'm thinking of the vine, like, I am the sand guardian,
Yeah.
guardian of the sand.
Yeah.
The side of
Very
troubles
that.
before him.
Okay, great. Great.
Noticing that Briar it's doing a similar sort of shaping, like to sort of bind, also to keep in. Morgan is gonna do the sign for air, but do possibly inspired by Dahi, and sort of try and do a sort of Iron Man like push up,
Yeah,
up
float up.
towards, and then obviously towards menacingly towards Briar.
Terrifying.
Very Magneto.
Yeah.
Briar's hands are shaking.
Okay, cool. Give me some rolls. Yes, Earth is dominant, so gets to re-roll.
And I shall reroll one of these. Okay, not that good. I got
How
a
did you both
12.
do? A 12. How did Morgan do?
Also a 12.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to
Two
say you're
12s and a
both
12.
you're both successful, but it doesn't resolve the combat, because the mud wall kind of comes up and is about to envelop Morgan, but Morgan kind of like rises up and over it. Okay, we're going to go to a round 2.
You cannot contain me.
Okay, round 2. What you doing?
You can describe first.
Yeah, I sort of bullet, and definitely it's definitely more of a shove air action, so that you just fall back. It's nothing impressive. I'm sure I will learn some other air attacks at some point, but yeah, it's definitely like forward and then using my momentum to sort of whoop, and then.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna go like forward head first and just like,
headbutt me.
And turn round, so it's just
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt Briar. I am a nice person.
As long as you're not in her way.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to do an air shove. What about you, Brian?
Yeah.
I'm going to shape the fingerspell flower, which I did, but I don't know if people could see. And have a big sunflower shoot up out of the ground to try to like stop you in your
Oh, I thought
tracks.
you were just gonna grow a little one, like as a peace offering. Like, please.
I think the idea is that Morgan
Please.
will just head first into
Yes,
the
I love
center
that.
of
Into the sunflower, just like a big cushion to
Yes.
capture.
I love
Okay,
it.
cool. Give me some rolls.
Oh, I'm not going to re-roll because I actually rolled pretty well.
Okay, what do we have?
I got 17.
Oh, yeah, I only got a 10.
Okay, so yeah, that's Briar's approach works. Morgan, you try and do this air shove, but as you do, this gigantic sunflower just time-lapse speed like grows out of the ground and catches you flying, and you just go headfirst into a flower, your legs sticking out.
I hate sunflowers.
I'm imagining it like in cartoons when like all of a sudden someone will get like really chibi, and so I'm just imagining like Morgan's like little legs like sticking out of the back. Like
if I upend, I have now like a mane of these fins. And I just look
I was thinking
furious.
of like that scene from the Lion King where he's
Yeah.
like he sticks his head. Yeah.
Yeah, but furious.
Furious. This isn't cute. I refuse to be cute.
I'm like cowering behind the sunflower a little bit and just kind of like put my hand
Absolutely
up and
not
say,
victorious in any way.
Yeah,
Still
cowering.
I know.
But then Sita comes over and grabs Briar's hand and lifts it and says, "Our champion."
Well played.
Woo! Earth Senior! Woo woo woo!
Please, Earth Senior was my father.
Oh.
Caesar says, "We will do more spying when you come back from your first quest. But in the meantime, I believe you have work to do," and kind of turns her head towards a part of the lake where, now that it's settled back down, the Nimbus hatchling you can see has come out and is kind of like standing at the edge of the lake and just quickly darting and trying to catch the fish. Not very effectually, but it's still kind of there. And Sita turns to you and says, "That one definitely has a case of wing shyness."
Wing shyness. What is that, Sita? It's nothing I've come across in any of my books or anything at the Wildlife Club.
It is, I am translating from a term used by worm kind. It is an affliction of young worms and also nimbuses who should be able to fly, but are not confident enough to try. Something has happened to make the nimbus lose his confidence. I think if you return him to his mother, she will know best what to do. But first, I think Scriv will have things to cover off with you. Head off on your ponies on your first quest. I wish you the best of luck. I think you show much promise. And without further words, she sort of turns and sort of lumbers back off into the lake and just quite gracefully whoosh, into the water. And then the long, sinuous neck dives and the whole body goes down into the lake and disappears.
That was fun.
Yeah, turns out wind isn't as great of a blow dryer as I thought when you get like dunked in a full lake 3 times. So
sorry.
I don't have a shower in my sanctuary. Is there one just in the questing cabin?
Communal.
Yeah.
There's definitely a bathroom that you can use, at least one that you can use to get clean.
Okay.
Or Bobby could just hose you off.
In the background.
Hose you up like a dog that's run through the mud, you know.
Yeah. I will turn to Brian and say, well, obviously, you are the better shaper, and I accept that. I will take your lead for this, our first mission to return the Nimbus. So anything that you put forward, I will fully support it. A horrible, creepy smile.
The smile that doesn't reach the eyes.
No.
Briar's just thinking of all of like the vizier type villains in shows where it's like the king's evil advisor. It's just
Yes, my liege.
yeah.
I'm just happy to help.
I mean, I have like, the advantage. I don't think that means I'm the better shaper.
No, you definitely beat me fair and square. I accept that. I'm not going to internalize this. I'm not just going to be practicing in the middle of the night and ask for a reduel at dawn or anything like that. I think it's just better that I just accept it. So good.
Well,
job.
I don't know. I'm just like kind of used to democracy, so maybe we could just do that.
No one ever gets anything done with democracy. You should see the yearbook before I took it over. It was just we didn't get anything done.
I'm like
And
looking
you're
at
from
Bobby
England,
and
yeah?
what are
Yeah,
Bobby
okay.
and Dahi doing while
Yeah,
this conversation is going on, while this tense stuff is happening?
I think
But-
Bobby's kind of shuffled
yeah.
over to Dahi and is like, I'm sorry that you fell in the lake again. I was trying to make sure that didn't happen again, but it kind of did. So I'm sorry.
Hey, no worries. Third time's the charm, you know? I think that's where I really got the first and second, like, lake gunk off of me, you know?
Okay,
There's a third dunk into the lake, yeah.
cool. I don't
Mhm.
understand how that would work, but yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. You're the one with water powers, man.
Okay. And at this point, Scriv comes out and goes, "Oh, there you are. Oh, amazing. So how was your training? Oh, you all seem a little bit muddy. Oh, we're doing the hand thing still. Yes, Briar."
I just have a question. We did the duel, and I thought it was just kind of for fun and for learning, but it seems like now I've been appointed some kind of like responsibility as a result of that.
Oh, well, Brian, if you don't wish to be leader, then I'm more than happy to take it upon myself, the leader-elect of this group, if that is okay with you, Scriv.
It's absolutely, I mean, it's absolutely up to you whether you think that you need a leader to function as a group. That is one way of organizing. You know, another is the sort of democracy model, which can be a little chaotic.
Anarchy!
Another is just anarchism. But even in anarchism, you can democratically elect a leader. It's all, you know, very much of a muchness in a group this small. So, yes. I mean, you could also split responsibilities and say that one person leads when it comes to one topic and another person leads when it comes to another topic. Perhaps somebody is the combat expert and another person is the face of the group, the social expert. But of course, you're all just getting to know each other. So for
Of
now,
course.
perhaps you just rub
Of
along
course.
and see how you do. And of course, you know, one duel does not decide
No, it
who
really
would
doesn't.
be the better leader. You know, leaders require tactical acumen and a cool head, so I'm told. I was never in that position myself. Am I to understand that you are free and ready to go on your first quest? It's returning our Nimbus friend to his mother. I think that would be an excellent use of your time and a great way to just start exploring a little bit, but, you know, hopefully not too far out to the cabins. I think that the best place to look for the nest is probably Maylor's Rest, and sort of she gestures off back towards you're always here in the shadow of the kind of rocky outcropping that the portal is on top of, and she points and says, past the All's Well. If you remember when you first landed here, you may have seen a mountain range. There are Nimbus nesting up there. Likely, if you make it there, then our hatchling might well know the rest of the way. So yes, I mean, before you go, I had a few other things to explain. So belief that you will gather, undoubtedly, as you go along, can be used for a couple of different things. Obviously, the Fae use it for powering all kinds of devices and wonderful things, and you can use it to heal the world tree. You can make offerings to the world tree to help to heal it, which is part of your quest here as Pendragons. The other thing that you can use it for is infusing. Now, if you look over there, and there's an outbuilding to the cabin, kind of this sort of nice kind of conical hut, and you can see a little bit of smoke rising out of the top of it, like it's kind of like a wigwam type situation, but big, you know, a big floor plan, circular. That is Bacto's workshop. Bacto, as I explained, is a knocker and an infusion expert. He stays here whenever we have Pendragons in, and anytime that you want to spend belief that you have gathered on infusing your items, you can do that with him. Infused items help you in your challenges, help you succeed. So GM note, you can spend one belief to get a +1 modifier on one of your personal items, and then if you use that personal item during a belief barrier, you get a +1 to your roll. You can spend 2 to get a +2 modifier. Higher than that, and you would have to achieve something more impressive than just paying belief. But yeah, so it will be up to you as you gather belief whether you want to spend it on upgrading your items to make them more useful in your belief barriers as you're out there questing, or whether you want to gather it up and offer it to the world tree.
And just to clarify, this is definitely not a Morgan question, this is definitely a Fiona question. Are our beliefs, there is a community pool, not like a selfishly like individual pool?
The leader actually gets a 30% tithe from the rest of the player characters of belief.
Well, I think that my understanding is that you have a belief category on your character sheet, so you do have an individual pool. But whenever one gets belief, everybody gets belief, is my analysis of the situation. Is that it's not a situation where only one person gets belief when you engage in a belief battle or a disbelief battle or a belief barrier. But you do have your own individual pool that you can use for upgrades and things.
Good
so
to know.
We earn it together, spend it individually. Got it.
Cool,
Unless you're offering to the world tree, and then you'd probably equally contribute or pool your resources, because there are level upgrades tied to
healing,
enriching the world tree with belief.
Great, good to know.
Okay, cool. So Scriv points to the workshop and says, as soon as you're ready, Bacto will be waiting and pleased to meet you and to infuse your items. So yes, that's just what I wanted you to know before you set off. I dread to ask whether there's any more questions, but I suppose it is my responsibility to do so.
You knew this
yes,
was coming.
After we infuse our items, can we shoot lasers out of them?
Not unless they were able to shoot lasers before the infusion.
Are the items magic and able to shoot lasers?
Since
we found them in the magic room.
Not unless that's the nature of the item. I believe Ellie actually has a crystal that can project constellations. That's probably the closest thing that you have to a laser. But
no
even
further
that,
questions,
I think, is just regular light. Wow, no further questions. Amazing.
No.
Get out while you still can,
Okay, well, your ponies are saddled up and waiting for you, and I'm sure the Nimbus Hatchling, have we named him? Do we still not? I mean, I suppose he's about to go back to his mother, so perhaps he won't need to. Is ready to journey with you whenever you are. And you see the hatchling is still by the edge of the lake, just wading in the shallows a little bit and preening itself.
We did name him, but he wouldn't understand it.
Well, you'd be surprised. Nimbus are very smart.
No,
do you know the name Kevin?
I wouldn't. Oh, I wouldn't.
Did the name Kevin come out after 2001?
Well, Up did.
I'm pretty sure the name Kevin existed when I left.
When did Home Alone come out?
The 1990s.
Yeah, 1993,
okay.
I think.
You can pretend that we named him Kevin because he's an abandoned child.
An abandoned child with an abundance of moxie and smart
hijinks,
difficult problems.
Exactly.
Hijinks. Yes,
we
I'm
look
sure.
over and he's going like
wings up like. Okay. All right, amazing. Well, I wish you the very best of luck. I will be here waiting for you eagerly to hear the tales of your travels. I'm sure this first quest will be a piece of cake. Okay. Before you can look any more cynical, she just heads back inside.
Does she also go into the lake?
No, yeah, just walks directly. Goodbye.
No more questions.
You just find her floating there like sensory deprivation tank style.
Exactly.
Okay. Right, so your ponies are ready, and are you ready to set off? Is there anything you want to do before you head off for your journey, or any business before we saddle up and ride out?
I don't think so, since we got nothing to spend yet.
We could always introduce ourselves, but also we could also leave because then we don't have to do any more role play for a little bit.
Okay.
And delay the
We
story a bit more.
introduced ourselves before, didn't we?
Not to
Kind of.
this person at the workshop.
Not to Bacto.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
That's who I'm
I thought
thinking.
we should just like barge in and demand things when we have stuff, you know? I think that's a good way to get to know someone.
Great first impression for a long life customer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I do is as I get on my pony, I say, "All right, giddy up, Morgan."
Like, one day, Clopsy, they don't understand just now, but one day they will. And then Clop behind.
I look kind of over at Morgan and say, like, I named the pony before I knew your
Oh
name
no, it's
was
fine.
Morgan.
I think it's an honor.
Briar slowly turns and just looks only forward.
You feel her eyes in the back of your head.
The lasers, the aforementioned lasers.
Oh my gosh. Naming the pony Morgan was pretty spicy before you defeated her in single combat. And now
But
it's
I didn't think I was supposed to be one of the rivals involved.
I think it's better if Morgan has a rival that's completely oblivious to it.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
don't understand why.
Absolutely.
I think Morgan is in competition with everyone around her at all times.
The
It
world
just
is her rival.
It's
Yeah.
herself, really. But
yeah. Like the rivalries only like really happen based on how much energy she's putting into beating this specific person, you know?
yeah, absolutely.
That seems legit.
I love it.
Okay, so you head out. Heading out from the questing cabin, you soon pick up a trail that heads in a similar direction to the night that you first came in. You're seeing it with fresh eyes, though, because when you first came in, it was sunset, it was dark. Today, it is, still, it's late morning, I would say, after you've trained with Sita, leading up to lunchtime. You have a little bit of snacks and things packed in your bags and packs so you can snack on the back of your pony as you travel. The Nimbus is following patiently along. You don't have to tether him or anything. He just kind of seems to be like, okay, well, this is where the crew is going, so that's where I'm going. Just kind of follows along like, hey, where are we going, guys? So you reach a fork in the road, and instead of turning off and up towards the peak, you carry on going and sort of navigate the base of that rocky outcrop that the All's Well is on and come around the other side of it. You can see it always above the tree line, rising up, this glowing portal still up there. And you keep traveling along. Is there any conversation you want to be having while you're traveling? Anything that anybody wants to role play
Dahi's talking to the Nimbus, unless anyone else talks to him. He's like, hey man, I heard that you're like really shy about this whole flying thing, but don't worry, I got air down already in like a day. I'm sure you'll be fine.
The Nimbus just kind of like seems to just be comforted by the sound of a voice and is just like, ah. And they just go back and forth like that for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gather that maybe like this is how the other Nimbus chicks communicated with each other. So it's just kind of like you're just being a Nimbus chick at each other right now.
Absolutely.
Traveling along. Everybody else, I'm sure, enjoying this serenade of.
I appreciate this is a very British reference, but do you remember the Spice Girls performing at the Olympics 2012? And Posh Spice is definitely separated from the rest of the Spice Girls. That's Morgan. She's like,
Morgan is such a Posh Spice as well. She's so
you could
Posh
think
Spice.
of someone being separated from a group.
like,
Posh Spice too. Okay, if we're the Spice Girls, which Spice are we?
I understand everything through Spice Girls references.
Yeah.
There you
This is how party
course.
composition is actually made up. Is that every party
sure
composition has the Spice Girls?
Dahi is either like baby or sporty, I think.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
so.
sporty just because he has too much energy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think
Anyway.
Bobby would like to think that she's scary, but I don't know if she actually is.
Oh. I think
have
you have
to
the potential
remind
to be.
myself of-
Yeah. Eventually.
I'm looking at the Spice Girls to
Oh,
remind
dear.
myself.
Oh,
Oh
dear.
no, you don't have
Dahi
any
is
Spice Girls
also-
lore to hand.
I didn't prepare this.
Did you not get the dossier that Morgan sent forward about?
I didn't.
Dahi being
didn't.
Irish too could also be ginger spice. I'm just
Yeah, that-
realizing, yeah.
Yeah.
Morgan texted everybody a quiz, like, if you could fill this out before morning.
That'd be great. Yes.
Okay.
But yes, Morgan is definitely separated from Elizabeth. But the noise of the bird and Dahi talking, there's definitely like a pretty much like a headache appearing, but she doesn't say anything and just stonily carries on going.
Morgan's fine right now.
Yes.
Totally fine.
It's going
Okay.
exactly as I envisioned.
All right. You travel along the path, and an hour passes or so. Then you get into your second hour, a little way along, and you reach a point in the path where, after traveling along quite comfortably and happily with you, the Nimbus chick just stops and stares at the path and will not go any further. Just looks at you all and looks at the path. You can see on this path that the sort of dirt track has been slightly disturbed. You can see that there's tracks passing over this track. There are what appears to be the footprints of a large lizard-like creature combined with boot prints. And as I assume a couple of you get off of your horses and check out what's going on, you can see that there is a trail going into the forest at one side of broken branches and, claw marks on trunks, as if something large has had to pass through this dense undergrowth and has had to force its way through.
I look at everyone else. I think like I had like kind of immediately hopped off my pony to like look into this. And I say, do we think this is a worm? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I was thinking. Whew.
I can't remember. Does anyone remember if they're supposed to be nice or mean?
It looks like it's marking its territory, so it could be mean if we go in there. But I'm sure, okay, this is a true fact I know about myself, is that no animal will hurt me after they realize how good my vibes are, you know?
No.
Because like,
After they realize though.
yeah,
So they
but
couldn't
like
hurt
I'm
you
always letting them out, you know?
instantly.
The good vibes.
It could take them a second to receive the vibes, and that could be kind of the.
That's why we don't sneak up on them, you know?
I agree with that. I don't think we should sneak up on whatever this is.
I mean, you're heir senior here.
Oh, you're all looking at me at this point.
No.
No, I'm heirs.
Senior,
So I
was
won,
like,
so I'm not even Earth anymore. I'm heir senior.
I was like, why are you looking at me? And then I realized, oh, no, you're not. Oh.
Morgan has one of those moments where she's like, why is everybody looking at me strange? And then like looks over her shoulder and then Brian.
I'm
Like finally puffs out her chest, like, oh, they're looking to me.
and then, exactly.
Just constantly thinking people are talking about you, but it's a pony. Thinking people are looking at you, but it's someone else.
Pretty much.
We could try and persuade Kevin to just go past this point without engaging with the big claw thing. But maybe we need to engage with the big claw thing.
Did you say that Kevin was looking scared or nervous, or is just pointedly looking on this?
You look at him and he was staring at the path, and then you all got down, and as you started investigating, he started sort of making his cawing noise, like as if to as if to communicate, like, I don't know what's going on. And he's shaken, but he's kind of looking to you all as if to be like, you know, as if he's waiting to see what you want to do.
Okay.
I have a question. When we got here, I remember we saw something like fly out of the woods. Was that something that's like from the description? This may be me like misremembering or not understanding. From the description, I took it to be like a worm, but would it have been like a nimbus and I just misunderstood?
So from the description I gave, it was a dark shape, and the nimbus that you have with you is white and grey. Now, you don't know what adult nimbuses look like. Nobody has told you that. But also, it was hard to tell because there was a screech. The thing flew up. You saw dark wings, and then it was flying towards the sun, so it was hard. It was kind of silhouetted, and the light was fading, so it wasn't clear exactly what you saw. But I will say that as you turn about and think about that, you look up and you can see the all's well still back in the direction you came, and you realize that this is probably not far from where you saw that shape come up.
Right.
And just now you said there were human footprints as well. There was like lizard something, and then there are
so
also
the lizard footprints seem to sort of cross the path a couple of times. It doesn't seem like it went one way. It seems like it has come back and forth a bit, and the footprints similar, you know, alongside nearby.
Well, if I may, leader Briar, I think possibly it would be good to find out information, because then even if we find, scout ahead, find out what's going on, obviously return Kevin to his family, we can then report back to Scriv that we found some more information, and then maybe we can have more help there. I think any information would put us in good stead.
That's true.
Just a thought.
Kevin just goes, ah!
The bird agrees with me.
So we've heard Dahi's kind of thoughts on what we should do, which is just kind of go in because animals would never attack him. Bobby, what do you think?
I mean, since there's footprints there as well, we don't know if this is a helpful person or someone not so helpful. So maybe we should sneak in and see if we can get some eyes on what's going on before, and then if they seem nice, we can ask.
If this is not the democracy, Briar, it sounds like 3 people for going in to the scary wood.
Briar resents the tone, but agrees.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Smile.
I look around everyone and say, like, all right, if you all think we should go in, then we should go in.
If we're sneaking in, should we like come down from above, Mission Impossible style, in the forest?
I mean, I guess you and Morgan probably could.
I'm fine. I mean, Dahi, I will follow your lead. Obviously, we're working together as air shapers, but I think the less height we have, the less chance we'll fall and hit ourselves. So maybe we can just use the air to cover us with foliage, perhaps. Again, just a thought.
Oh, if the thing can smell us, we should probably push the air downwind so it can't.
See? You do have
tell
good
we're
ideas.
coming. Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
I told you.
What?
Air.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, what are you gonna do with Kevin while this is going on?
Maybe someone should stay
And the
behind
ponies.
with Kevin.
The ponies happily sort of like, you can tether them to a tree.
I was gonna
you don't even
say.
have to tie them that tight. They just kind of like hang there. They've been bred for this and trained for this. They're like cool.
Yeah. Tie Clopsy to a tree.
Yeah.
If we
Copsy
try
gives you a quick nuzzle.
Oh.
Copsy gives you a quick nuzzle and then looks at the other horses as if to be like,
yeah.
see, I have a better relationship with my owner than you do.
It's you and me, Clopsy, against
While the other
world.
horses aren't tied up.
The horses are just
They're all like,
standing
what
there
the
like,
hell, man?
Orange Justice is just turning around and around in circles.
No, that's not how we do Orange Justice. Like, I mean, I guess you have to have hands. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay.
Okay, cool. Kevin just seems to be happy enough to hang with the horses. You know, you realize maybe Kevin's been following you not because you're the crew, but the horses are the crew. It's the same
And you know what? That does not surprise any of us.
Okay.
Plot twist: Morgan, the horse, is actually the leader of
leader.
the horses.
It's the name.
Yeah.
Ah.
Sad.
Okay. So, right, you are attempting to sneak. Now, it sounds like a couple of people had ideas for how to shape to help you do this. So, even though there's not a clear barrier to be overcome here, I will say the barrier is your attempt to be sneaky as you're heading into this wood. So, we can do a roll to see how well you're doing at that, and I will factor that into how things go. So, sure. Who is leading this? It sounds like it's either Briar or Dahi, because Dahi had the idea of pushing the wind away. What do we think?
I think maybe Briar is the leader, not necessarily by like assertiveness, but just like it seems to have fallen to her. But I did have an idea of like what that would look like, because I think it would be that Briar is using shaping to kind of keep the plants and things, like make a little path out of the way so we're not like rustling through everything as we go. So I think Briar's literally like in the front, maybe kind of like, or maybe behind Dahi, I guess, if Dahi's doing the scent thing, but like kind of trying to shape to keep the plants and things from making noise.
Okay, just trying to get the plant buddies to, you know, let you gracefully through. Great. And Dahi's doing blowing the scent away. Is anybody else doing anything else? You don't have to. It's okay to just be along for this one. But if you would like to do something, let me know.
I think I'm going to let Dahi take the charge on the air stuff. This one. And
Let me.
You've got this.
Okay, yeah.
I'm right behind you. Many miles behind you. No, but yeah, I'd let Dahi take the lead on that, because there's nothing else I can think of that could help in this situation. That because I think it's actually a really good idea.
All right. How about Bobby?
I think Bobby is also just along for the ride with this one.
Okay, great. So, Briar, give me a 3d6 roll. Give me your shape. You get to add a +1 because Dahi is helping, and a +1 because you are shaping to do this.
Oh, okay. Rolled pretty poorly. So I get +2 to this, you said?
Yeah, +2.
11.
11 is just the threshold for success. So you are, you at first, you're new to shaping with plants and the earth. So at first there's a slight miscommunication between you and the plants, and you manage to smack Morgan in the face as she's coming up behind you.
Just be cool.
And then you're like, then Briar has to be like, oh, and sort of tell the plants, no, all of us, this whole group, like not just me, like everybody. And after that, the plants kind of like move gracefully out of your way, and
I see you, sunflowers.
Creates this breeze that blows away any scent. As you create this breeze, you sort of, because it's an air current that you are creating, it pulls the air ahead of you towards you, and you all smell on the air charred wood that has been charred and left out over a damp night overnight, as if it's been burned and then rained on. And as you move deftly forward, the branches under Briar's instructions kind of form a lovely archway onto a clearing that you step to the edge of and see that this was probably not a clearing before something intervened. The ground grass is kind of scorched lightly. There are trees around the edges that have been burned to the point where they have collapsed, and there are just these jagged black stumps. And the trees, one layer back from them, have scorched bark on the inside, as if something came in and with a flamethrower just went, I want to create a circle. In the center of the circle, there are stones laid out in a circle the size of a campfire. And it looks, in fact, as if there are cold ashes in the center of that campfire. You also notice that on the other side of the clearing, there are more broken branches and things moved aside as if something large moved that way. You can also see scorch marks as if something was moving through the forest that way and also using fire again to clear a path. Something maybe a bit impatient. The whole thing gives you a bad feeling. The disrespect for this forest and for the nature of this beautiful place doesn't feel... It feels like the person who did this was not on the side of gathering belief and friendship and kindness.
I think Bobby's gonna go around taking like CSI style photos of all the like the broken branches and the the burn marks.
Am I reading Bobby right that she's like a little bit of an arty goth type character?
Absolutely.
Like she's
it.
totally like desolation, despair. Like
She's like, for sure.
Sorry.
Like it externally she presents as sort of quiet nerdy kid who's a bit nervous, but inside she's like, the darkness is my friend, and she's been trying to give her horse an emo fringe.
Like,
she's
beautiful.
Yeah, she's been trying to like this beautiful white horse with like the splotches. Just like, no, just like put the mane more across the eye like that.
She was born too late for MySpace. Oh no. Yeah, amazing. Okay, so yeah, you take some photos, and as you step in, nothing comes to approach you. It's actually quite quiet. You can, as you've been traveling through this forest, you've heard bird song, the sound of creatures moving, you spotted a deer here or there. There is nothing in this clearing, as if everything has fled from whatever was occupying this space.
So, do you think if we got attacked by something like this, you could just like stop it, Bobby? I'm assuming water beats fire. We didn't get that whole rundown of that element thing, but I'm assuming.
I guess I can try my best. I mean, at least if we get on fire, I can put it out, but that would still be bad.
Do you think your vibes could protect you from something like this, Dahi?
Absolutely. I'm just worried about the rest of you. There's no reason to light me on fire. My vibes are immaculate.
What is Morgan doing while this discussion is going on?
Good, very good question. I think Morgan is posh spicing it, is a little bit further away from the group, is listening out, because obviously we've got the sort of crime scene-esque, like with Bobby taking pictures and stuff and sort of surveying. I want to see if I can hear anything on the breeze, any sort of whispered or any sort of people that are hiding from us and like maybe breathing very softly, which I appreciate. It's very creepy, but I just like trying to like zone in. And,
you're listening.
Yeah,
you out. Don't have. So this clearing doesn't feel nice. It just is like hurtful to see these beautiful trees damaged.
Yeah.
You don't get the sense that you're being watched. You don't have that prickly back of the neck feeling. But then when you sort of reach the point in this circle, you know, if you're walking around and listening, you reach the point in this circle where the trail leads out, you can kind of, just at the edge of hearing, hear some kind of whispering, but it doesn't feel, it almost feels like it's whispering into your mind. And it's in a language that you don't understand. It's just kind of going, no idea if my microphone is picking that up.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yes.
It did! Terrifying!
Great.
I thought you were using
Yeah.
a voice mod for a second.
No, just very good creepy whisperer.
It's just great
Um,
DM. That's what's happening here.
So you hear this whispering, but you don't have. It's strange. You don't have the sensation of it coming in through one ear more
It's
than the
just-
other. It's like it's just present,
Mm.
and then it fades.
Oh. Okay.
I think Bobby
Yeah.
looks around and sees Morgan looking concerned and goes to say, "Are you okay?" and then realizes that Morgan's never okay, but then decides to ask anyway.
Yes. Yeah, fine. Just thought I heard. Do you sometimes get like in your head, like wait, you're a goth kid, of course you have voices in your head. Look, there's like some sort of whispering. It's just sort of gone.
Ooh, I think hearing whispers in a place like this is probably very significant.
I get out my journal, put down a line, heard voices in my head. Bobby confirmed at look at the watch. So writing down in my journal the stuff, but okay.
Hey Morgan, are you even sure time works like on Earth here?
Snap the journal, put it in my dungaree pocket, and I'd be like, how's the vibing going? Any clues? Didn't think so.
I think Briar is like very deeply like not that other people aren't, but is like very deeply upset about this and has
Yeah.
the kind of attitude of like, why would someone do this? Like similar to like
Yeah,
the
I think
first
Dahi's trying to
session, yeah.
help put out any of the like embers that are still around just to make sure nothing like coaxes them up again.
Yeah,
Because
there's
it's up to
some
you to
very
prevent
slight one.
forest fires.
It's mostly cold and
Mm.
damp, as if it was scorched, a day or so ago, and then rain overnight has come and released the smells.
I think I look at Morgan and I say, Morgan, are you mad at us for some reason?
Oh, why would I be mad? Look. Let's try and solve what's happened here. Let us at least see if there's anything left. Maybe we can, I don't know, make the trees better. Like, can you do something with earth just to like replenish the growth in the soil? Again, I don't want to
I
tell you how
mean,
to do your
isn't
job.
ash like really good for soil?
I don't think I'm gonna be able to do shaping and belief and stuff like that if I think that you're mad at me.
I'm not mad. If anything, I'm mad at myself. If that's helpful.
Why are you mad at yourself?
Oh no! Look! Just heal the trees. It's fine. Like
Morgan's a nerd and she's not getting an A+ in adventuring, you know?
she would normally, but she's getting a C- on teamwork currently. Look here. I'll look. Do you want me to hold? I can hold this tree back up if there's a tree that's on its side. I'll push it back up and like just like bandage it or something.
Bandage.
At least I am trying.
I was putting out the embers.
You are mad at us. I think you're mad at us. You're saying you're not mad, but then you're saying things that seem mad, and you're saying them in a voice that seems mad.
All right. I won't say anything.
See, these vibes would get attacked by a worm instantly.
Briar shakes their head, but I think I just kind of like say something like, I really feel like we're supposed to be using the power of friendship for this kind of thing, but I am gonna try to see if I can do anything to help the tree.
All right, so you're
holding
gonna yeah, sure. You're gonna lead a belief barrier to try and heal this tree or all of the trees in this circle.
I feel like we should try probably just this tree first.
Okay, you can try that tree. So, all right, Morgan is helping by holding it in place, so that's a +1. Does anybody else have anything they want to try to help Briar do this?
think Bobby will just sort of gently try and water the tree to see if that will
Yeah.
help. Just provide some
Yeah,
nourishing.
the soil feels very dry underfoot after
Mm.
being attacked by, so you can coax water back into the roots and everything. Absolutely. And how about Dahi?
Do I want to help Morgan push the tree up, or do I want to take Bobby's camera and take photos of Morgan trying to push a tree up?
I don't think that's helping.
Yeah, you won't get a
This
plus
is for the
one, but I will
scrapbook
laugh.
for friendship. Yeah, because I don't want to blow everything around, but like I don't want to blow the ash and the soil away, because apparently ash is like nutrient rich soil, I think.
You could use air to brush the ash onto the ground,
Yeah.
maybe.
Put it into like
clear
you know,
everything off.
sweep it essentially.
Yeah. Try not to be noticeable about it, though. If the people are close
Yeah.
by.
Dahi's not the cleanest person, perhaps.
No.
He's not into cleaning, so doesn't like chores. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like leaf blower cleaning. Dahi loves leaf blower cleaning.
That is true.
Yeah, that is
That
fun
is so
kind of
true.
cleaning. Cool.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So we're going to try and heal this tree. I think, Briar, you get to add a +3 and a +1 if you use a shape.
I'm
The
gonna
shape
use
for
the
tree
shape, yeah.
is
Oh.
so you rest on your
I have to
arm
back
and
up
then
a little bit.
you move this. It's
Oh,
actually
look at
side
that.
to side, I think, like that. Yeah.
That's cool. Love
We'll do
that.
Yeah,
that.
I like
We'll
that
do
one.
That's very cool.
Okay, so +4 then, right?
Yep.
Oh my god. I am rolling. The 17 really decided to be the only good thing. Okay, so that's. I got 2 1s and a 4.
Oh,
5,
no.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think that fails, right?
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
I'm going to
It's
say
because Morgan is.
I am holding up a tree.
I'm
she's holding the
distracted by
tree,
the anger.
really, this
face.
tree is, yeah, you are distracted. The tree is pretty far gone.
Aw.
It is, a charred log at this point, and the ash does get swept down into the ground though, and Bobby does manage to bring more moisture into the soil. And with your sense of these things, Briar, you do think that has improved the chance of recovery of this space, but this particular tree was not. You were not in time to save.
Yeah, I think Briar keeps trying to shape even after she feels like it's not going to really do anything.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I think stops and is like I don't know, maybe if I was better at this, we could do something, but I think it's too late.
we have just started. Also, nature will find a way to heal it itself.
So as you fail at this, the group do get 1 token of disbelief, which goes towards what in Inspirisles is called a calamity meter. So when you pass certain thresholds, things happen.
I'm sure it's fine.
As that disbelief takes hold of you, Briar, you feel a pull in the direction of the path out of the circle, as if it's like attracting like. You feel a sense of sadness coming from down that path. And you too hear the whispers that Morgan heard in her head in this moment of feeling dejected, as if they were able to get in because you weren't as resilient. And with that, I think we're going to go to break. I called it out, waiting to see if our producer is there and ready to take us through. Yep, amazing. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody listening. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and we will be back in 15 minutes. Fantastic. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, welcome back. We've just taken our little break here in session 2 of Inspirisles. We left our intrepid pendragons in a scorched clearing in a beautiful forest where there were signs of potential worm encroachment and also some creepy whisperings and the feeling of sadness coming from a particular path through the forest. We tried to heal some trees, didn't go so well. We've had some confrontational moments about some people's emotional well-being.
No confrontation. No one's mad
no,
here. Why would there be
no.
confrontation?
Everybody is fine.
Fine. Yes.
Fine. Okay, so what we doing, gang?
The direction that I sensed the sadness and whispers like coming from, is that the way we came from, or it's a different? Okay,
it's a path out of the clearing that you can see when you look, these sort of scorch marks and broken branches, and the suggestion that whatever was here also passed that way.
I think we charge straight ahead, full speed.
Oh, you think we do?
Yeah. I'll take the lead if you want, but I think we just charge in full speed straight ahead. Can't lose.
The vibes are too good. No possibility.
Exactly. If they're giving off the sadness vibes, we just overpower them with our vibes.
Sadness vibes.
No. This is why I'll be in front.
Are you letting Dahi do this?
Yeah, is Dahi just running away?
No. I'm discussing it first, but I'm saying this is what I think we should do.
Yeah, I think Briar is like kind of like says something about, because I think the conversation with the whispers happened between Morgan and Bobby. I don't think Briar was like a part of that conversation, so I think she's like, oh, this is a new thing. So like communicates to everybody like, yeah, when we couldn't heal that tree, there were some like whisper, like sadness things happening and maybe coming from that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last time there was sadness and we ran into it in the forest, it was a hurt nimbus, so like, let's help out again.
It could be the mother or the father of Kevin.
The parents, yes. Sure. You said you heard whispering? Okay. I guess we should tread carefully and make sure that whatever happens, we've got a way out. I mean, Dahi, would you like to scout ahead? Carefully.
Yeah, sure. What
can you scout ahead carefully?
Okay, how thick is this forest?
It's a healthy forest, but as I say, the path that you're about to go down, something large already passed this way, so a lot of what would have obstructed you has been scorched or pushed aside already.
Okay, so if I got a bird's eye view, that could be advantageous.
Yeah, you'd be able to see reasonably well, like, the trail of destruction down a path if you, say, climbed a tree, which I'm guessing is the first thing that Dahi would think.
No, see, the first thing that came to my mind was that I have a kite, and I do have air powers.
Yeah?
Okay.
So kite, paraglider, someone hold the rope.
Right.
Oh, we were so close. We all we were all like going, oh.
So we're gonna have a Dahi on a string kind of situation.
Yeah.
I would be a terrible tyrant if I did not let you try this.
I mean,
who wants to fly me?
me. No. I can assist if you're going to do that and do surveillance. Morgan will help with that air power. So maybe if you're just going to go up, I could try and make it so that you're flying in a direction, keep you up still, rather than if you lose
I
direction.
think it makes perfect sense for Dahi to be providing the thrust upwards and Morgan to be buffeting to prevent him from going into the foliage.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy to help with that role. I'm just like, wait, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing I can say that is going to stop you because you've already got this idea now.
It's there.
It's
You're
there.
gonna try.
So
okay.
I'm going to fly.
Yeah.
Air.
All right.
Even.
I think I'll help you as like a backup if this goes poorly. I want to try to make some moss grow on the ground so that if Dahi falls, that he'll fall on something
beautiful,
softer.
thick, spongy carpet of moss. Beautiful. I love that. And how about Bobby?
I'm struggling to think of anything watery that would help. Because if I made the moss wet, then that would just make it unpleasant.
I want you to do that so much. I just want you to do that.
Let's see. Clouds are made of water.
So you could maybe use them to obscure Dahi. People are looking up, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll give that a try. I'll see if I can sort of condense some water in the air and create some cloud cover.
Beautiful.
Okay, all right. So it's going to look like you've got a cloud on a string.
I love it. Proper Neil Gaiman stuff. I love this.
I love that. A pet cloud. Just taking my pet cloud for a walk.
That's weirdly screaming like ah.
my really intense pet cloud. Okay, cool, amazing. So, all right. So this is Dahi leading this. So Dahi, you're gonna shape for your fly. You already did. And you're going to take out your kite and use it. It's not infused, so you don't get a plus to that yet. But you do get a +3 for all of your friends helping you in the various ways that they said. So yeah, roll for me. Tell me what you get.
I definitely didn't come last in our tournament with my bad rolls, so this should be fine.
You're owed some good rolls.
Yeah, come on.
+3.
Yeah.
12
actually because of your own shape as well.
Oh,
so that's
13. Yay!
Yeah, you're well within success range. So this, I'm going to say it's a success. It's not like a top level success. So it's like, it's a little bit tricky to work at first. You're new to being a team. There's a moment where the cloud doesn't perfectly line up with the speed that Dahi is going at. But once you get it, you get it. And Dahi, you
just like his head poking out from a cloud.
It's like ceiling cat, but like
oh no, nightmares.
Just looking down.
Okay, so all right, you fly up, and as you start to head down this path, the moss spreading out in front of you, thanks to Briar's incredible plant shaping, and the cloud enveloping you in this nice cooling sort of soft environment. Morgan making sure you don't get wrapped up in any branches or tangles. I assume Briar would also move anything that seemed that was, a bit of trouble out of the way. From out of the safety of your cloud, you don't see anything moving around. Nothing that looks like a threat. You do see the path moves through the undergrowth, and as you move along, you can get a better and better view, and you see another clearing through the trees up ahead. You can see what appears to be at first like glass, but you see that it is a very, very still pool, and in the center of it, a small hill seems to rise out of the center of this pool up ahead, and that's what you're all heading towards if you continue down this path.
And that's where this path ends, like there's no leading out of that clearing?
No, you can't. You can just about make out the other side of the clearing, and it looks like it's trees right up to the edge of the pool. You see, looking closer as you draw nearer, you see a statue on the far side of the clearing of a knight. It appears to be stone, The knight is kind of standing, armored, holding a sword pointed down. Sorry, a sword. Or was it a sword?
Cheese,
Sword.
grommet.
Cheese, grommet.
Sword.
No, sword. It's holding a sword and it's looking downwards, downcast. It looks to be made, even from this distance, you can see it's made of stone that is worn and weathered and covered in patches of lichen, as if it's very old and has been at the edge of this pool for a long time. That's what you can see.
Well, Dahi realized that he didn't do like a tug rope system of like 2 for when I'm coming down, 1 for when I see something. So he just goes into a free fall.
Oh my word.
He's like, my friends can catch me, the moss.
No.
So Morgan is still buffeting you, so prevents you like flying off to either side. But this is where Briar's incredible moss comes in, and the cloud slows your descent, and you land poof, comfortably in this springy moss carpet that the rest of
I
your
need
friends
this
have
for
been
my
sort of
room for when I
bouncing
wake up.
along. Yeah.
And fall 10 feet into my dance studio. Okay. Another clearing up ahead seems to be the last one. There's a hill, there's a pool, there's Scorch, Knight statue. You got all that?
Why didn't you lead with the knight statue? I don't know why. Why would you
Best
do that?
for last.
There's a hill, a pool, a knight statue.
Yeah.
But no other people, no worm or anything like that, Dahi. You didn't see any. Okay,
no.
right. Okay.
No.
Right. Well, I guess we should make our way carefully, looking towards Briar, but trying to be a neutral face as possible. So it's really awkward because she can't smile, she can't frown, so she's just like.
Is it that smile that you awkwardly do when you pass someone you know, but you can't really like? It's just like.
What, Morgan? What emotion are you trying to convey to me right now?
Nothing. I just want us to continue, and then once we've done this, we can get Kevin back to his parents, or their parents, sorry, and then we can just continue on being the chosen ones, and it is all fine.
If this was Captain Planet, one of us would be Heart and able to sort this situation out. We don't live in a
But it's
perfect
not.
world.
Okay, I guess we'll. I'm just like looking at Morgan and just like, I guess we'll keep walking.
Great, and I'll start walking.
Okay. All right, and you don't walk for long before you reach the edge of the pool that Dahi described. It is, you feel a breeze pass through the trees, and even so, the water remains still. And that sense of sadness that Briar felt coming from this place, you all feel sort of seeping into you slightly. At the edge of this pool, you see trees right up to the edge all around, but you see the knight statue that Dahi described, but it's one of 6 evenly spaced around the pool.
Ooh.
And ahead of you, just to the side of the kind of, it's not a path that you're on, it's kind of been cleared by a creature passing through. And in the wet ground near the pool, you see another sort of clawed footprint, confirmation that the creature that you saw the tracks of on the road came this way. And you see stairs going down, stone steps as ancient as the knight statues and also covered in lichen and eroded by the weather and the wet and the wind, heading down into the water.
Can we see the bottom of this lake at all? Or is it just inky blackness?
It's so still that the sky is being perfectly reflected, so it's like the surface of a mirror.
Wow.
And the hill in the center is just this little, very even grassy mound. Morgan, I would say, studies enough that this looks man-made, like a man-made hill.
It's not an oxbow lake, no. Fiona doesn't know if that is an oxbow lake, but there you go.
I was convinced. I was
damn. I will go round this. sorry, I'm sure you just said this. Is there's the lake, and then you've got the 6 statues. Can we move around so we can go behind the statues, or is the lake like up to the clearing? Yeah.
The lake takes up the entirety of the gap between the trees, but you can, of course, always make your way through. It's just that it's sort of kind of dense undergrowth to get around the back of the statues. But there's one nearby that you could definitely get to the back of.
Yeah, just to check it out really, and just see what if there's any inscription or if there's any sort of anything like that, and make a note.
When you get up close, you see sort of, even though it's eroded, the front has been eroded more because it faces into the clearing. The back has more lichen on it, but the lichen is sort of a vibrant green and has sort of almost embossed the carving in the back that is this beautiful sort of Celtic knotwork, and a little bit of writing, but it is not in a language that you understand. It appears to be a lost language. I don't know how much Morgan would have studied languages.
Well, I didn't. No, I didn't. No. What she would do, she would, whilst the others are doing something, she would probably get her journal, maybe move some of the lichen out of the way, and then do like a rubbing of the inscription, sure. just to have. Yes, I would do. Morgan would be doing that.
Okay, Morgan does that. What about everybody else? Is Bobby taking pictures? What's she up to as she enters this desolate space?
Yeah, I think she definitely finds a really cool angle for one of the worn down statues, like with some trees up against it, and just like, yeah, this would look great in black and white, that kind of thing.
Yeah, reminding you of your favorite graveyard at home, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then she kind of looks at the water and considers moving it like she did with the lake near the questing cabin, but then sees that it's so still, and she kind of thinks, there might be consequences if I mess with this water. So she's kind of hesitant to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Dahi really wants to dunk his head in the water.
Dahi can do that. No one can stop him if that's what Dahi wants to do.
If you can't see because it's reflecting, then you go under the reflection, you see? That's the logic. And then you open your eyes under the water, and then you can see what's in there. That's the logic.
Does Dahi want to try that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The player me wants to try and translate this language, but Dahi, no. He doesn't want to read. He's in a new magical world. He wants to dunk his head in the water.
He dunks his head in the pool, and it is ice cold. I assume that he's gone down the steps a little bit to have like something to cling to as he dunks his head.
Yeah.
And as he dunks his head, the water underneath is clear, and he can see the steps lead down into a basin and then lead to a doorway blocked with a large stone underneath the water.
Okay, surfaces and is like
and the
underwater
lake ripples for a second and then quickly goes back to flat.
Underwater adventure. Underwater adventure.
What does that mean?
Wait, air is useless underwater. Stairs, door. There's a door down there.
I do like the idea that Bobby's like, what does that means me in some capacity?
Oh no! Oh no! I have to do a thing. Would you like me to clear the water out the way so we can get in?
I mean, where would you put it?
That's a good point. Just like, yeah, I don't really want to flood this forest. That would be bad.
I mean, do like an air bubble around our heads.
Well,
yeah.
Well,
would that be limited oxygen?
Why don't you go and find out as I finish the inscription? I think that is a good idea. But maybe you should test it.
Give it a go?
Here, okay. I'll help you.
I'm picturing that scene in The Legend of Korra where he takes the air out of that lady's lungs, just completely like the air bubble around her head, where she's just like, ah. I'm picturing that's what Morgan wants to do.
Yeah, thinks it, doesn't do it. No. Like can like give you some like make it extra big, perhaps, whatever the bubble is, so that you have a little bit more. So if you were going to do that, but I don't want to force you into doing that. Morgan was thinking of something similar, to be fair.
Okay.
I'd cannonball right in if you guys agree.
All right. Then Dahi does that. And is it Dahi who's shaping or Morgan who's shaping here?
I sort of said I would help,
I'm
but I'm
actually
happy.
narratively, but I think this is not something that I would make you roll for. I think
Oh.
you have control over your element. You can create a bubble of air.
Yeah,
That's
I just feel
not-
like Dahi can't shape and swim.
That is fair. That is fair.
That is fair.
I'll do bubble. Didn't think I was going to be shaping that tonight. Yeah, so there's bubble. And so yeah, so I create almost like it's like a perfect. It's almost like a shimmer, I guess, like that sort of
yeah. You can see a shimmer of like a circle around before Dahi submerges. And Dahi, you have an air bubble around you. You can see, you can swim along, and it stays stable around your head. And you can make it. It's not a big pool. You're only swimming about 10 feet to get to this. 10 feet across, and maybe 15 feet down to get to the door level.
But the rock's real big, isn't it?
The rock is big, and too big for Dahi to move using his own strength, especially underwater.
Okay, but this magic situation is working for me.
That does work as an experiment to test your theory that you could create an air bubble around your head and breathe that way underwater. Yes, this satisfies you that does work.
Okay, then I pop up and I'm like, I'm alive!
Yay.
Also, there's a big rock down there. So rock and water situation. And air for breathing. It's teamwork, you guys.
Maybe I could do a sort of mini parting of the Red Sea situation so that more of us can get down there. And we have the air bubbles as a backup if I let go by accident.
Well, you won't let go by accident. We'll be there to help you. But I guess then, and then look at Briar. Would you be able to shift the stone in some way?
I can try. I'm not really good with like rocks as much as I'm good with like helping the dirt make things grow, but I don't even know if I'm that good at that. So I can try it.
Morgan takes a deep breath, puts out her hand very slowly towards Briar, puts it on her shoulder and goes, I believe in you.
Golf clap.
Baby steps.
Is that what you wanted to hear? Is that helpful?
It is helpful. It was more helpful before you said, is that what
Right.
you wanted to hear?
Yes.
Because now it makes
Sorry.
me kind of doubt the sincerity, but
I was fine. Bubble. Just
Morgan walks into the lake. A lot of people ending conversations by walking into lakes.
dramatic end. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye. I'm done now.
Okay, all right.
Bubble,
So
the signs
if you're
bubble.
going to try a mini parting of the Red Sea, as Bobby put it, then I would say Bobby is leading this belief barrier. And Bobby gets to roll. It sounds like it's going to be Bobby parting, Briar trying to move the stone. You can flavor that how you like. And the air folks, maybe, what do you think you would be doing?
I would say if Briar has to be in like close to the stone using the earth stuff, then I could be ready to go with an air bubble just in case.
Okay, you've got it poised.
Yeah, that's what I would do to suggest helping Dahi. Whatever Dahi would like to do.
Maybe
I was just gonna do like I was gonna try and do like a big wall of air against the water that's parted just to like shore it up, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that works for me. Great. Okay, so can Bobby please roll? If she shapes, she gets to add a +1, and she gets to add a +3 for the friends helping.
Cool. I will sign part, like that, and then give a roll. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 on the dice. Plus 4. So yeah, 14. Perfect.
Oh.
That's a success. That is a success. Okay, so describe for me what happens.
So yeah, Bobby sort of tentatively, slightly shaking, like raises her hands and makes them part, and then the water sort of rolls back and sort of towers up on either side. And then I assume the air barriers come into effect and sort of shimmer side by side. And yeah, I think that's Bobby's contribution.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough wall that's kind of waving back on itself until the air barrier forms and shores it up and makes it kind of solid. And then, Briar, you're able to see the stairs leading down, these stone steps. They're kind of slippery at the point where they've been under the water, but you see to your relief that there are plants growing on the bottom of this lake all the way up to where the stone doorway is.
Yeah, I think Briar is trying to think of like, okay, I haven't been like that good with like actual like rock and mud and that kind of thing so far. And so sees the plants and gets the idea in her mind of like how to break the stone or get it out of the way. It would be like roots going into it.
Yeah.
And so kind of like is, as she's walking, is kind of just trying to like get kind of like in tune with like the sustenance to the plants and the roots going into something, and just kind of like eyes closed is just walking forward and is gonna just like karate chop the center of the thing. Like
Beautiful.
not super hard, but like that motion, and hope
Yeah.
like just be kind of like, okay, I hope this works, that the roots like crack it open.
That's so cool.
And the rich silt of this pool has roots from the great trees around it growing through it, and a root actually up the center of the stone and bisects it, and it falls to either side. And you see an opening beyond when you open your eyes to check that your work has worked.
Let's go in the door so that we don't have to keep holding the water up.
Woo! Yeah, how do we put the door back in place so the water doesn't flood where we're heading?
No, there's just a stone on top of the door, right? It wasn't the door. The stone's not the door.
It's a stone. It's a sideways door. It is a door into the hill. So it was kind of blocking it. Yeah.
Morgan will walk down to Briar and goes, oh, "Good job," and then open the door and go in.
So the stone parted, and it's just like a passageway.
Okay, yeah.
There's a sort of a doorway that was blocked with a stone, and
Right,
you see, you see a dark chamber beyond, and with the light coming in from the clearing, you see that the walls are made of stone and all carved with the same kind of knotwork all up the walls. It's kind of domed under here. And ahead of you, you see a stone slab or altar on which appears to be lying a set of bones. And above the altar is a carving of kind of dragons cavorting, and in the center of that, more of that writing. And Morgan is able to pick out, as the whispering that had disappeared comes back and intensifies, you try to read the writing, even though you know that you don't know this language. You can just about pick out the name Mordred.
Okay. I quickly do a quick sketch of everything, put it in the journal just for later, and sort of did the mental. I'm like, I wish Bobby was here taking pictures rather than because it's really like it's terrible drawings. Yeah, Bobby's like behind her. I turned.
Are the rest of you coming into the mound at this point? This is just what.
Yeah.
Morgan sees as she comes into the doorway.
I think we should, and then maybe try and create a vacuum before the water floods in.
Yeah, I think Briar would follow like right in behind Morgan. Like,
Mm.
Yeah, so Briar,
because
you're
I
in
don't
there
have
too.
control over the water stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll come in.
Mhm.
I might just sort
Okay.
of try and back in while still holding the water at either side, just sort of like
Yeah, he does that too. We're doing like a little back it up.
Yeah, you're backing it up, and it stays. It stays. You have control of this. You succeeded on this. You are able to hold these walls back for long enough for you to make it into the mound, and then for, if you want, our air shapers to create a larger bubble of the kind that you've just been creating, but just in this space.
Yeah, I'll definitely help with that. I take a moment and I go, oh god, and I go and help. Yeah, Dahi's like, ah. I'm like,
I tried to offer a high five to Bobby, and then it dropped one of the walls. And I was like, ah!
it's okay, it's okay. I appreciate the gesture.
Bubble.
Okay, so you get into this space, the bubble is formed, and you all see what Morgan and Briar initially saw. Yeah. So there's these bones. As you draw closer to them, Morgan, I would say that Morgan would notice this. You notice the bones are lying out, that it's unusual if this is a burial mound for them to have been buried just bones. And also that the femur bones appear to be the wrong way round.
Ooh.
I think Dahi and Bobby, as you're coming in, the other two have gone forward and are kind of looking around the room. As you're coming in, you both catch a glint of something metallic at the side of the slab.
Sword, 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 chosen one sword, let's go.
Dahi runs forward. And yeah, clearing away some plants and some mess, where plants have managed to grow through the ground of this stone kind of space. You find the hilt of a sword. The blade is shattered. You only have the very beginning of it, but it has a gold crossbar and a red gem in the pommel.
That just makes it cooler. Also, I guess as a player, is the language that we've seen up there, is that like the old English that like the Arthurian legends would have been written in?
Yeah, as a GM to player, it's Brittonic or Brythonic.
Okay, I was just
the
making
Celtic
sure.
language of the British Isles, the English part of the British Isles before.
Yeah, because then I was like, if it's Celtic, maybe Dahi knows, but like our Gaelic,
it's not
even,
closely enough related. I would say that if Dahi, knows a bit of, Irish, would see similarities in the alphabet and the way that the words are formed, and certainly the carved knotwork of the artwork that's around here feels familiar, but the actual words and what they mean, it's not coming across.
Yeah.
Apart from you also, if you look long enough, would see the name Mordred mixed in there somewhere. That's been carved kind of bold font.
Yeah, Dahi probably wouldn't be looking at it anyway, but I just thought it would be really funny if Dahi had the key
could
to this.
actually
Yeah.
You can break the cipher, exactly.
But was too busy with sword.
sword. Yeah, you all see Dahi dart forward and then pull this sword out of the ground as if it's just withdrawn the sword from the stone.
Did I break that? Like, did that break when I broke the? Like, I was just looking at Dahi. Like, is the rest of the sword in there?
No, right?
Yeah, you look around and you don't see it.
No, so you probably didn't break it. It was probably broken when it got here.
Okay, that's good because I don't like.
Also, that's always a good excuse to make. It's like that when I got here. If anybody calls you out on something,
yeah.
So does anybody know King Arthur legends? really well. Like, I mean, Morgan, you've been prepared for this your whole life, apparently, to come here. Did you?
Well,
Were Arthurian legends a bit too fictiony for you?
wow. That's some sass there. No, yes, I've read up on my Arthurian legends. Obviously, Mordred. I sort of point to the font so that everyone sees it. Not a good person. They related to Arthur, and effectively, well.
So our cousin,
Okay, yes,
brother.
possibly. No. All families have bad sides, like like a bad apple. Mordred is like the worst of the bad apples. This whole time, like, Morgan is next to the skeleton and noticing what you said about the femurs. And so did you say they were the wrong way round, or like physically, like upside down?
The
or...
left one is on the right and the right one is on the
That's
left.
what I thought. That's what I thought you said. And I just I think she would do it. I just not openly. I don't know. It's very tricky. I think she would just definitely just go puzzle.
Escape room.
Yeah, just like
Ew, skeleton toucher.
and swap the femurs around. But like, what? As
Those are
I'm
bones,
talking,
man. The words are cool. Bones aren't.
they were in the wrong place.
You swap them back and nothing happens.
Phew. Okay. Fiona says phew.
as you're looking closely at this, the skeleton is not lying. Not to be too morbid about it, but the skeleton, I'm assuming that Morgan took her biology studies seriously.
Of course. Everyone watched The Body Farm.
And archaeology, perhaps, since she's been looking into ancient history. This skeleton doesn't look... It looks like the bones have been laid out in the right place, basically, but it doesn't look like this skeleton was a body that decomposed and left a skeleton behind. They're not positioned...
Right.
They look like they've been disturbed and then rearranged, essentially.
I think Bobby stares into like the empty vacuums of the eye sockets and is just like, I wonder what death feels like. Like, oh, sorry, I got distracted for a moment.
Let's talk about Bobby now. Like,
let's only talk about Bobby for the rest of the session. Yeah. I'm into it.
Hang on.
Are we still hearing the whispers when we're in here?
It kind of, as you drew near to the skeleton, kind of reached a crescendo, and then it's sort of eased off. But it's like your mind has become kind of habituated to it and toned it out. When you think about it, you can hear a slight sort of hissing of voices. You can't make out what they're saying.
So, in a land created for like the goody goodies of the King Arthur legends, Guinevere or Arthur, why does the bad apple of the family have like a really nice tomb and burial?
This isn't that nice.
It's hidden.
Yeah, but like a lot of ancient burial grounds are. And this is just one person, all of this.
Well, if we think about it, something came to this place or left from this place. This body has been disturbed.
I mean, you didn't die down here.
No. Around the altar, this is definitely Fiona doing that. If I tap it, is there like a false bottom to it, or is it hollow underneath the altar itself? Is the body's on the top? Is there like a latch or something?
No, it appears to be solid stone.
Do you think if we use our air magic and like shoot lots of oxygen into our brains, we can decipher this lost language?
I don't think it's that kind of game.
No, this is Gahi 100%.
I
swear.
know.
I swear.
And Fiona is responding. I don't think it's that.
I think you might make yourself extremely giddy.
Yeah.
More giddy than already.
Look, I see in chat our beloved girls run these worlds saying every time I think Gask, I know where Gask is going with a sentence. Me too.
Could go anywhere. We could go anywhere.
Is there any way to tell? I know you said it seemed like the bones have been placed here. Is there any way to tell how recently, or like, is there like, like I'm thinking if this is like a very old place, does it look like dust has like settled or been disturbed, or like that kind of thing? Is there to see if this is the bones are new here?
Yeah.
Having that thought, you look around and you remember seeing the claw print on the edge of the water. And here, you've all moved around a bit, but you look about and you can see a boot print that looks like the one that was on the tracks. You can also see on top of the slab, there is a fine layer of dust that does appear to have swoops and smudges in it where it looks like hands have been maybe moving things on and off of this altar. The dust has been disturbed. You can see where fingers have run through it.
So we gotta position this skeleton in a specific way?
Or
Are any of the other bones swapped and wrong?
It was just that one set that were wrong.
Or this is not Mordred, and they've swapped the body. If something's come here disturbed it, but it's not the altar or anything like that.
So
whatever was here is probably not
bones here.
Yeah, Morgan's definitely not going to try and take the whole skeleton off because that's disrespectful, but also in case something happens, because tombs are usually trapped in some way, so maybe they've had to carefully
Swap.
Perhaps.
I'm also wondering if it's not a guy and a big lizard thing, but it's maybe a guy who can turn into a big lizard thing.
And he just switches all the time. Or like maybe he's half guy, half lizard.
Maybe. Just
on
boots
Mondays,
at the front.
Wednesdays.
I was thinking boots on this side and then dragon leg on this side.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a pantomime lizard.
Who's the back half? It's me.
Because I was thinking worms are the ones with their arms or wings, right? So
Yeah.
they only have legs.
That's a wyvern.
Oh, my bad, yeah.
That's it.
A wyvern
Okay,
that
never
has
mind.
wings for arms. A worm is effectively a dragon and has 4 limbs and wings.
Okay. You know, WY, dragon type, hard to tell apart.
You gotta be a big nerd to know, and apparently here I am.
Yay.
Does it look?
Anything with the sword?
The sword, yeah.
Sorry?
Oh yeah.
Is there any is it like a key? We just poke it in somewhere, turn it?
What, to the skeleton?
No, around the altar. Or was Mordred stabbed, fatally somewhere? We jab in where it would have been stabbed in the skeleton, then turn it like a key.
Looking over this skeleton, there are spots where there are scrapes on the bone as if this person has been in battle and has taken wounds with swords.
Which is the one that looked like it did him in.
So there's like a hole in the skull, which is like, yeah, you're not coming back from
You're not coming back from that one, yeah.
just die. Just kind of like imagine like a scan, like we see like a scan overlay as die,
Yeah,
like
body scan. Yeah.
Just analyzing every inch of the bones.
at this point, you've been gone from your horses and Kevin for about an hour.
Oh. Well, I mean, if Bobby is okay to take photos, I can write down some of the glyphs and stuff. Maybe it's something we return back to if we can't figure out. And Dahi, if you're willing to take that sword,
Willing, yeah.
definitely Morgan's eyes is darting around the room, just very aware again of knowledge of like if you take something, a massive boulder might appear, all that sort of business. So, so as long
Have
as
we
you
tried? Have we tried pushing the altar really hard?
let's try that. Yeah, let's. Well, we haven't exhausted every option, so
I'm not even going to make you roll. You try pushing the altar really hard. It is a solid stone slab with carvings.
Good,
It's attached to the ground. It's
Good.
not.
Good. Well, you know what would happen if we hadn't done that, and you're like, oh, you missed it. The secret compartment to the DLC, yeah, the under aisles,
unshoved.
Yeah, exactly.
Dahi starts hitting every wall like, this one's an invisible wall, like Dark Souls.
You're just damaging the carvings.
In Elden Ring, you had to hit it
Bobby is trying to take
81
pictures of.
times.
I think, Briar, I think maybe our time is done here.
Yeah, you look down and realize that there is like a perfect kind of like short scabbard type thing attached to the utility belt that you got that you can put the hilt of the sword into.
Yes. Perfect.
When Morgan says Briar, I think it's time to go for a second. Briar is like confused. Like, why are you like, I'm not doing anything? And then like remembers, oh, I am in charge. Okay. And it's like, okay, I guess let's go. And like I think kind of forgets that the water parting isn't necessarily still happening, so just like starts to walk out.
No, well, bubble.
Yeah.
Bobby takes some quick artistic / useful snaps of the interior of this tomb and then turns around to part the water again.
The water parts. You're able. Brian comes crashing down to the bottom of the lake, and you're able to walk up and out. Are you going to reseal the tomb?
I do look at I look at the cracked
It
rock
got split
a
in
little
half.
sheepishly. And say, I mean, I don't know if I can try.
Clay, nature's glue. Just stick it together.
That's true. Yeah, I'll try to use nature's glue to stick the two out.
Okay, all right. So
I will use air to dry it.
Okay. You got one helper. Anybody else helping? I suppose Bobby is helping by keeping the walls back. And Dahi, what are you doing?
I was the ideas man.
Oh. You said Clay is nature's glue.
Guy. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If anyone says nature's anything, it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds so wholesome. All right. Okay, so Briar, you are rolling with a +3 for your companions, I'll include the ideas guy. Just was Dahi's idea and suggestion. And then a +1 for your shape.
Okay. All right. Okay, I think that succeeds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right?
13, yeah, absolutely a success. So the water is held back by Bobby. You shape and form clay up from the pool, the bed of the pool, and it comes and forms a perfect seal, and Morgan dries it super fast using air, and it looks like it'll hold. It looks like it'll hold pretty well. Bobby releases the water, and you certainly don't see like the telltale gloop of an air bubble coming to the surface of the lake or anything like that, but it does go back to that eerie stillness with surprising speed.
Okay. Good job, everybody. I feel like we work together really well for, getting in and getting out.
Yeah, that was seamless. But also we do need to work together in getting our horses back too.
Okay, you work together and you make it back along the path that you already took. You recognize it from the lots and lots of spongy moss. You find the scorched clearing, and then you can pretty easily from there kind of almost see the road up ahead. You make it through. Your horses, very attentive, are just hanging out. I don't know if you've ever seen horses hang out in a field, but they do just hang
Absolutely,
out.
Mhm.
It's eerie. It's like, what are they thinking? And they just stand and stare
What
at
are
a
they
spot.
plotting? Yeah.
What are they plotting in there? And Kevin's just there chilling,
Oh,
just
phew.
go along with the group, stare at a spot.
Does he seem like anxious still, or like nervous like he was when he first got here?
So he seems more relaxed now, especially as you return. He sort of looks up and sees you and gives you a greeting of an and sort of wanders over to you, wanders over to Dahi, like yeah. And if you saddle up and you gently coax him, he will pass over the point where the tracks are, and you can carry on your way. Which I assume you do.
Yeah, I'll make a note in my journal about approximately where it was and stuff like that, so we can get back to it. Although I'm sure magic will also help us. But she's very basically is a note taker. She's a note taker for this campaign. So yeah,
every group needs one in real life and in campaigns. So yeah, you continue making your way. You can see the mountain range that you heard called Malor's Rest up ahead of you. And it's easy enough to navigate towards it. When you reach it, the path seems to head up as a sort of switchback along the side, reaching further into the peaks from the foothills. Not having any better idea of where to go, you start to head into the mountains, where you promptly get kind of a bit lost. There's a lot of different kind of paths. Some of them are just kind of sort of scrub and shale. You kind of try going up this way, you try going up that way. The afternoon wears on. You get to about 4 or 5 p.m. You're starting to get a bit frustrated, and then you round a corner around one of the smaller peaks, and you see a cliff, part of which seems to have cracked and broken away and stands alone as a 200-foot tall column. And when you round the corner and see that, Kevin immediately is like, and sort of stares at it. You see on top of this needle is a huge nest. And as you watch, a bird that looks much like Kevin kind of comes to stand on the edge of the nest, spreads its wings, and swoops down from the nest, and then circles around the needle and spirals back up again and lands back in the nest as if it's practicing. You gather that this may be Kevin's nest and these may be his siblings. And he sort of, for a moment, seeing the other bird do this, sort of spreads his wings for a second, as if he's just about to do it, and then just tucks them back in and sort of preens a little bit, almost nervously. You have, it's a way off, but you can navigate by this and follow a path that will get you to that cliff edge, if that's where you would like to go. Okay. So
yeah, while we're
head there.
doing that, can I walk along with Kevin and like try and get him to flap his wings while I push some air underneath them? Like not like actually flying, but like just so he can like glide
used to
almost, or
it,
not
yeah.
glide, but like get used to the
I
feeling
will
of
say
wings.
that you formed enough of a bond with Kevin that you can kind of coax him, and he seems happy enough to spread his wings out and seems to have an instinct that that's something he should be doing. And when you flap the air under them, he seems to flap a little, but as soon as he sort of starts to come, say a foot or two off the ground, he immediately tucks them back in and lands back down. It seems that the attack or incident that occurred to him has really shaken him up, and he's afraid to take wing again. But coming around, you reach the edge of this cliff, the nest and the top of the needle are 20 foot away from the edge with a 200-foot drop in between you and it.
Maybe.
Kite time.
Uh-oh. I'm just imagining
Ruh-roh.
like the wily coyote. Just if Die falls and just the little die-shaped outline at the bottom of the canyon.
Briar, could you maybe make a bridge out of vines between here and the spire?
Yeah, I like look around to see like what kind of like foliage and stuff is around. If there's anything I could try to
So
improve.
there are a few scrubby trees, and if you kind of come a bit close to the edge of the cliff and look down, there is a tree growing out of the cliff. You know, one of those that sort of has its roots clinging for bare life to the rocks. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah. I like peer down and I say, maybe I could get this one to grow a little bit faster and bring us over. I could try that.
Sounds good. I don't know how we could help though in this one. I think this is a solo mission, maybe.
Well, I guess Bobby, you can help with water and sustenance because if it's been on a dry cliff for a while, it might need that. Maybe Dahi, your Kate, your kite idea is not a bad one. Maybe we can send over some like vines or something with the kite, or we could just be on that side so we can direct it a little bit more so that it doesn't go off and see how it is from that side.
Sure. Always good down to get my kite out.
Well, exactly. I don't want you to miss an opportunity not to use it. It's just a thought. I agree. It seems. Well, I'm happy to help wherever possible. What?
I will say that the other thing, you know, for the air twins, on the edge of this cliff, it is quite breezy up here.
Yeah. So maybe
because you're up high. You're up high. There is a beautiful view, by the way, all the way back down the valley towards the peak of the All's Well. You can't see the questing cabin because it's on the other side of that peak, but you know that it's there. And from this height, you can also see, even though it's only small and you are high up, you can see the dark, shadowy spot that you know in your soul is that strange, desolate pool that you've just been to. But yeah, the wind is blowing quite a lot, so that could be something that the two of you could control.
Yeah, so
but that's the fun part about bridges, you know? They're
Really?
shaking around and everything, yeah.
If that's how Dahi feels, then he's okay not to
I'll help
the
if
wind do
people
its thing.
don't agree.
I think if Briar is close to the edge of this cliff, it's terrifying, right? So yeah, definitely try and do like a shield like buffer so that she doesn't suddenly, if she loses concentration, that she doesn't fall off. So yeah, definitely have a shielding effect around her. I can do that.
Yeah, so
I
Briar,
think
as
we
you
fell
step
off.
forward to attempt this, you feel the wind and it is nerve-wracking, but suddenly the whistling sound goes away, the wind is blocked, and you can concentrate. It's still scary, you're still up very high, but...
How far down below is the tree? Like, is it
the tree, I will say, is only about 10 feet below you.
I think I might like kind of like clamber down to the tree so that like I'm doing this like kind of like on it as I'm trying to do this. I've gotten a little bit of confidence from having a few successes. So I clamber down, and I think when I feel the wind kind of
I think clambering down 10 feet of a sheer cliff over a 200-foot drop is something I'm going to ask you to roll for.
Okay.
Don't worry. If you fall off, Kevin's love for us outweighs his anxiety, and he's gonna swoop down and catch you like it's the last Guardian.
Okay, so right, so Briar's gonna roll and see about climbing down and helping this tree to grow. You've got the help of Morgan, who is shielding you from the worst of the crosswind. Bobby, are you creating a little bit of moisture around the roots of this tree to help it grow?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. And then Dahi, what are you doing?
I think like helping when the bridge is made on like a bigger extent of what Morgan's doing, of like just making sure there's no wind pushing the bridge. Like Morgan get one side, I get the other.
Right. So you're helping make sure that the bridge can grow straight without a crosswind bending it or sending it off course. Okay, great. So Briar, that is a roll, +1 for your shape, +3 for your friends helping. So that's a +4.
All right. Oh, I rolled pretty good. Okay, so oh yeah, I rolled really good. Okay, that's 10 plus 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Ooh.
Okay, that is an unshakable success.
Yeah.
And you all get 1 belief.
Hey!
Does that mean we're at like 0 belief, or does the disbelief not cancel out the belief?
The disbelief is a different pool. So disbelief is something for me to keep track of for story reasons. Belief is separate. It's not like when
there's
you get
not even a
disbelief,
part of
takes
it on our
away.
character sheet.
No. So you have 1 belief right now, and the universe has 1 disbelief.
We did such a bad job, didn't we? That the universe got disappointed in us. We tried to grow a tree back so bad.
Calling myself the universe. Okay. All right. So this works spectacularly well, and I'm going to hand over to Briar to describe how this goes.
Yeah.
So is this just me climbing down, or is this the bridge?
This is you climbing down and starting to grow. We'll do another round for crossing the bridge.
Okay, cool. So I think Briar feeling the like it kind of gets like focused on like, okay, this is the tree, I'm gonna get down there, and before even really like thinking about it that much, is like I can climb down, I can like wrap my arms around it so I can really feel like where, and then if like the roots start to go, I can feel like what's happening. So gets to the edge, feels the wind, and gets like, oh, okay, that's a little not great, but then feels it stop and looks over at Morgan and gives like an appreciative smile, and then kind of like looks down, sees that it's about 10 feet, so then like turns around, so she's like climbing like the rock face is like in front of her,
like
and her feet are kind of like her feet are kind of dangling, but the rock,
Lion
like,
King-esque, like
Morgan's standing.
Morgan
There's
goes
only one Morgan.
Oh no. But I kind of feel like my feet get secure on like the rock, and like with the shaping, I think I'm able to kind of like move it a little bit to get like a better foothold, and then land on the tree and just like wrap kind of like my arms, like I'm like flat on my face on the tree coming out, and just with my arms around it,
literally tree hugging.
And just kind of trying to get with like the soil being more saturated with water, just kind of like encouraging the growth, and like just kind of whispering like, okay, so that there should be some more nutrients for you now, and we'll just need a little bit of help getting across, if you can kind of stretch out a little bit. And it's just like kind of trying to like talk to herself and the tree and get it to grow.
And the tree grows. You feel the trunk that you are hugging broaden as the branches reach out, and as you watch them and maintain focus and control, you can knit these branches together, weaving them into the knot pattern similar to what you saw on in the mound underground. You know, this weaving knot that spreads out and flowers at the edges and leaves, and this beautiful lush green sort of plated bridge comes across and touches the 20 feet on the other side, the edge of this column. And the sort of hatchlings, the Nimbus hatchlings, are kind of sitting there in the nest, kind of watching this happen and sort of tilting their heads with fascination. And yeah, you have a bridge. So yeah, now I guess we'll roll to see how well you do at crossing it. You can change leader if you want to at this point.
Yeah, I think somebody else should take the lead. I think Briar's pretty tired after doing that.
So yeah,
like,
Briar, you're able to stand up at this point because the bridge has kind of formed a sort of nice standing surface, and even I'll say like a little bit of a guardrail of branches that come up the side and kind of loop over each other that make this less terrifying.
I feel like this might be an air leader situation.
Yeah.
We both look at each other.
Whoever's the senior heir.
Yeah, we duel again for it on the middle of this bridge over the cliff.
Yeah, you throw down the gauntlet like now. I'm like now. Dahi, like you seem to have a better connection with the bird, so I don't know if you want me to go ahead and I can make sure that the heirs, and then you go with Kevin to make sure they're okay.
Sounds good to me.
Kevin does look kind of nervous. Eager, like it sees its siblings and it's sort of stamping its little feet as if it's like, yeah, I want to go back to my friends, but it's still just like looking at the sort of edge and looking at Dahi like, are we really doing this? Okay. So is that going to be Morgan is going to lead with help from Dahi with the bird pal, who is definitely, picking up on Dahi's vibes, just as he said.
They're immaculate.
Immaculate vibes. And yeah, Briar keeping the bridge, shoring it up even as you're moving along if it starts to sway, and Bobby continuing to nourish this new growth of this plant with the water that it needs to thrive. Okay. All right, so that's another roll with a +4 with 1 for your shape that you do.
Yeah, I'm going to cast shield. So I was just practicing it. So 1, 2, so shield. Desperately looking down at my notes. Like, obviously, Morgan does it incredibly immaculate, obviously. Looking straight out.
Yeah.
All right. It's not great. On the dice, that is just a 6. So I think with a 4, it's only a 10.
Okay, so that is, and it almost works. You're all about halfway across this bridge, making it to the end when the weight, when I will say what happens here is not that any of your shaping fails, because you're all doing a great job and this is a great solution. I will say that Dahi for a moment gets excited to see the other birds swooping, and Kevin gets excited and panics and starts flapping his wings, and the bridge shakes and starts to come apart. The plait starts to unweave, and you all come falling off, flying down. Kevin begins to flap his wings and takes off and is swooping around you, cawing. So he is flying, but he can't catch you all. Just as you are plummeting, you see a huge white form appear beneath you as the mother Nimbus comes and catches you all on her back and flies, taking wings, swooping around, huge, like Kevin's caw, but huge and loud, echoing off the sides of these mountains as you fly around and over the forest where you've just been, coming back to the nest where she lands softly and greets her chicks, tucks in her wings, and lets one down as a kind of slide to let you off, looking at you all softly, looking at Kevin, who lands back on the edge of the nest, and she seems to know that you've done her a good turn.
Because our vibes are so good.
I've only just stopped screaming. My hair's like everywhere. Just like...
Dahi was screaming too, but like in the roller coaster type of way, like
yeah, definitely like that. The drop ride. You just go like that. That's definitely not more than steel.
Yeah. And I'm going to say that's where we end for today's session, conveniently. And I'm going to go ahead and say you all get another belief for the end of a quest. Just because I can, so I will. Yeah, so great session, everybody. We got Kevin home, got him over his wing shyness. and did some great shaping. So
All it took was having him plummet to his death.
all of us plummet to our deaths, and we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Outro time, guys. Okay, so I have been Eve Burke, your Grail guide in this Inspirisles game. We will be back next Tuesday for part 3 of this 6-part series. I am very excited to see where we go next. Absolutely loving this. I am going to ask my wonderful cast to outro themselves. So we'll go in order on my screen again. So Taylor, can you tell people who you are, who you've been, where they can find you, what else you're up to?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I'm Taylor, she, her pronouns. I've been playing Briar, also used to she, her pronouns. And you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr at Roll for Felicity on all of those places. On Tumblr lately, I've been doing some like more long form writing about tabletop RPGs along with like other, Tumblr stuff. So if that's the kind of thing you like, I just wrote an article about the combat in the D&D movie and what it made me think about combat in D&D as a system. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can check that out. On Twitch, I've got some fun games coming up. I stream tabletop RPGs on Twitch tomorrow evening, Eastern time, 6:30. I'll be playing a 2-player game called I Have the High Ground, which is like a Star Wars inspired dueling, bravado kind of game by Jess Levine. And then on Saturday, I'm actually playing another one of Jess's games, Going Rogue, which is also Star Wars inspired and specifically inspired by things like Andor and Rogue One. So I'm very excited for both of those things. And then you can also see me here doing this.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And Fiona.
Well, hello. Sorry. When I I am Fiona. Yeah, I'll do it now. See if I remember it now. So Fiona, and I've been playing more gun tonight. So yeah, when I'm not playing basically who I was when I was 14, which was clearly not a nice person, you can find me on What's My Rolling, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast. I'm also the co-host of the DM's Book Club, which is a weekly book club podcast, and you can find those wherever you listen to podcasts. But I always try and recommend other RPGs, and the one I want to recommend this week is that if you enjoyed like Rivers of London and that sort of vibe of like magic, but also sort of grounded in reality as well, I want to recommend Liminal, the role-playing game by Paul Mitchener, because, again, it's a slight plug as well, but both myself and Maddie will be doing an actual play in May. I think it's the 12th of May and the 19th of May, which we're doing for a stream of Liminal with our friend Zach, who runs Realms of Peril and Glory, and Liv from Dicebreaker will also be there, and Pip as well from Realms of Peril and Glory, and we're going to be running a one-shot that for the actual Play UK stream, which I'm really looking forward to, and reading through the book of that is really, really, really fun as well. So if you like all these things and all the different factions and stuff, it's like, oh, very, very nice. I love that. So yeah, so obviously we'll post that when that all comes out, but just wanted to recommend Liminal, and I've obviously been really enjoying this, and you'll see me here next Tuesday where I'm probably still going to be very mean, but also enjoying it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Gasconita.
Hello, I am Gask. I did it. Also, that literally flashed me back to when I tried to play Rivers of London, completely failed because I was not into role playing at the time. Maybe I have to try it out again. But I do remember that's the one where it asks you your gender and it's like man, woman. Are you fool? There's people walking around here with tentacles on their face, and you ask me my gender? I always remember that. But actually important thing to shout out this week is that I will be on Tavernaut's channel, cool friend of the channel here, and he will be raising money for UNICEF's emergency appeal for Ukraine on April 22nd and 23rd. Lots of fun games going on in those time slots, and yeah, go support it.
Amazing. Thank you. And Maddie.
Yes, I have been Maddie playing Bobby, both she, her pronouns. You can find more of my actual play stuff on Realms of Power and Glory, where I'm one of the regular cast members. It will surprise no one that I play a necromancer in the Veil campaign. That's just my vibe, apparently.
You
And
also have a horse called Shadow.
I have a short shadow and I'm wearing a skeleton shirt. So yeah, it's all on theme. And I am very excited for the Liminal game on Actual Play UK. And I will also be playing in the very first stream of the Actual Play UK Twitch channel, which is a game of D&D set in a wizard's tower. So that will be this Friday, and then not next Friday, but the Friday after. So the 21st of April and the 5th of May, along with loads of other great TTRPG performers. So yeah, do come along to that.
Woohoo.
Amazing. Wonderful. So many wonderful things. Okay, so we have been your Inspirisles cast. If you enjoyed the show, remember to subscribe to Girls Run These Worlds. If you want to sit where I'm sitting, the Creator app is always open. If you've got a game you're dying to run. And we are now going to be raiding Nerd Halla. That is Nerd Halla, I guess like Valhalla, but Nerd Halla, who is painting minis, wearing Yoda ears, and seems super cool. So please
Those vibes
head on
are
over
immaculate.
there, show some support after the stream. We've really enjoyed seeing you all, and thank you and good night.
Bye.
Bye.